और बहुत अनुशासित तरीके से राजधानी दिल्ली ने मेसी का स्वागत, अभिनंदन, आदर सत्कार किया है और अपने अतिथि को वो मान सम्मान दिया है जिसके लिए भारत जाना जाता है। भारत की संस्कृति है अतिथि देवो भव की संस्कृति, और पूरे उत्साह के साथ अपने अतिथि को मान सम्मान और कहते हैं लाड प्यार और दुलार दे रही है दिल्ली की जनता।
So what a privilege it is to be here and watch the greatest footballers of all time. Well, then keeping that tradition alive, Lionel Messi just taking a lap around the Arun Jaitley Stadium. And he's kicking the ball. That's Rodrigo De Paul hitting the ball in the tears. Luis Suarez on the right side of Messi. And what a moment this is. And as he walks in front of us, this is the moment that we would want to cherish forever. Well, this is the closest that we can get. Lionel Messi walking right in front of us. And this is the moment we'd also been waiting for. It's not over. He's going to be there in the middle. And there'll be some penalty shootouts. That's what we've been told. Messi at the moment with Suarez. De Paul on his left. Three great football legendary figures. It'll be fun watching him take the penalty kicks. And we've seen him deceiving the goalkeeper in a number of occasions. This is going to be a very small goal case, which is very equivalent to a hockey bar or a hockey goal post. But then Messi enjoying every bit of his presence here. Look at the delight on the face. Well, then another one-touch football with the next set of boys on the other side of the field. The crowd enjoying every moment. He got that glimpse. And of course, Messi will now see the youngsters play. It's going to do wonderful. It's going to be a great favor to these youngsters, you know. Once they go back, they will watch that 2022 World Cup final, how Messi took Argentina to victory for a record World Cup title in 36 years. There he is, showing his great talents with those touches.
दिल्ली में शाम जरूर ढल रही है, लेकिन फुटबॉल का जश्न अपने चरम पर पहुंचता जा रहा है, क्योंकि लियोनेल मेसी इस समय मैदान पर हैं और छोटे छोटे बच्चों के साथ वो फुटबॉलिंग स्किल्स का नमूना पेश कर रहे हैं। और जहां से भी आप ये प्रसारण देख रहे हैं, आपको जरूर बहुत आनंद आ रहा होगा, क्योंकि ये सिर्फ एक इवेंट नहीं है, ये सपने के सच होने की कहानी है और इन बच्चों के लिए ये बहुत ऐतिहासिक अवसर है। लुइस सुआरेज, ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे बहुत एंजॉय कर रहे हैं इस मोमेंट को, और बच्चे उनसे काफी खुश, और मेसी के चेहरे पर जो मुस्कान है वो बता रही है कि काफी कंफर्टेबल फील कर रहे हैं इन छोटे छोटे बच्चों के साथ। ऐसी इनकी भी शुरुआत हुई थी 2000 में, जब 13 वर्ष की आयु में ये बार्सिलोना पहुंचे थे, और आज इन बच्चों को प्रेरित करने का इससे बढ़िया अवसर और क्या हो सकता है लियोनेल मेसी को। भारत जहां पर छोटे छोटे बच्चे सबसे पहले क्रिकेट का बैट उठाते हैं, लेकिन आज से कहानी बदल सकती है। नंबर 10 की जर्सी नजर आ रही है, नंबर 7 की जर्सी नजर आ रही है, और आज तमाम जर्सीज पर भारी हैं दुनिया के सबसे बड़े फुटबॉलर लियोनेल मेसी।
Good to see the young girls joining in the crowd there, and they'll have a group photograph now. Some autographs coming in. That's going to be there as a souvenir. That football, the Lionel Messi autograph, is not going to be kicked again. That'll be going into the showcase forever. Youngsters, what a moment. They're lucky fellows, staying close to Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi. Well, that's good. Look at the delight on his face when he meets the kids. That's a legacy of football, and that's going to travel a long way for Indian football. That's going to travel a long way for international camaraderie between the footballers of various nations. And that's a typical Barcelona style pick that Messi is taking. And that's one of the trademarks of the Barcelona team. Each time they would go out to play, they would stand in that position and click a memorable pick.
प्रतिभा एक तरफ, लेकिन विनम्रता मनुष्य का सबसे बड़ा आभूषण होता है। उन छोटे छोटे बच्चों के साथ जिस मुस्कुराहट के साथ, जिस आत्मीयता के साथ, जिस अपनेपन के साथ मेसी, सुआरेज और रोड्रिगो दी पॉल ने समय बिताया, वो इनके व्यक्तित्व के दूसरे पहलू का परिचायक है। बहुत सहज नजर आए और इन सबको ये एहसास दिलाया कि वो उनके अपने हैं। आप जितना उनको चाहते हैं, उनके जैसे ही वो भी उन्होंने समय बिताया है। काफी ऐतिहासिक लम्हा भारतीय फुटबॉल फैंस के लिए। जितने भी दर्शक यहां पर हैं, सबकी जुबान पर मेसी मेसी का नाम है। और यहां पर भारतीय फुटबॉल टीम की एक अहम खिलाड़ी अदिति उनको जर्सी भेंट कर रही हैं। और जैसा कि हमने आपको पहले भी जानकारी दी थी, फिर बता दें, अदिति चौहान भारतीय राष्ट्रीय टीम की गोलकीपर, पहली इंडियन जिन्होंने प्रीमियर लीग क्लब वेस्ट हैम यूनाइटेड एफसी के लिए खेला था। और उन्होंने लियोनेल मेसी को जर्सी दी है, जर्सी एक्सचेंज जिसे कहते हैं। और देखिए विनम्रता लुइस सुआरेज की, रोड्रिगो दी पॉल की, वो उस जर्सी को उस योग्य बना रहे हैं जिस पर ये तीनों हस्ताक्षर कर सके। अदिति चौहान के लिए भी एक बहुत बड़ा अवसर है ये, क्योंकि वो लियोनेल मेसी के साथ जर्सी एक्सचेंज कर रही हैं। क्या मोमेंट है ये भारतीय फुटबॉल के नजरिए से देखें तो।
Well, this is a wonderful moment where the Indian fans getting a glimpse of Lionel Messi at the moment. And of course, all three of them, Rodrigo de Paul, Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, he's having a fun time here in Delhi. He's delighted to be here. And that's fun to watch Lionel Messi enjoying every bit of his presence among the people who've gathered since 9 in the morning. So welcome Messi. And every act of Messi is, it's nice.
तमाम दर्शक अपने अपनी कुर्सियों से उठ खड़े हुए हैं और वो शायद यही बोल रहे हैं कि मेसी फुटबॉल नहीं, मेसी हम सब के इमोशंस हैं। और हर किसी के पास उनको कहने के लिए बहुत कुछ है। कोई स्कूल से छुट्टी लेकर आया है, कोई अपने दफ्तर से छुट्टी लेकर आया है, कोई अपनी पारिवारिक जिम्मेदारियों को आज के लिए टाल कर आया है, क्योंकि आज फुटबॉल का जश्न है। आज दुनिया के सबसे महानतम फुटबॉलर में से एक लियोनेल मेसी दिल्ली आए हुए हैं, भारत के घर आए हुए हैं। और ये है वो विश्व कप ट्रॉफी। जी हां, ये वो विश्व कप ट्रॉफी है जिसके इंतजार में लियोनेल मेसी को 5 विश्व कप खेलने पड़े और तब जाकर 2022 में वो सपना साकार हुआ जिसमें लाजवाब अद्भुत प्रदर्शन उनकी तरफ से आया था। उस विश्व कप फाइनल की चर्चा हम लगातार कर रहे हैं इस अरुण जेटली स्टेडियम में, जहां क्रिकेट की तमाम ट्रॉफीज आपने देखी होंगी। आज वो विश्व कप की ट्रॉफी है और वो विश्व कप विजेता कप्तान है जिसे दुनिया भर के करोड़ों अरबों लोग प्यार करते हैं, चाहते हैं और अपना प्यार उन पर लुटाते हैं। आज दिल्ली को प्यार लुटाने का अवसर मिला है। चेहरे पर खुशी देखिए, मेसी का एंथम गा रहे हैं लोग और हर कोई चाहता है ये एग्जीबिशन मैच के जो विनर थे मिनर्वा मेसी ऑल स्टार्स, उनके साथ ये ट्रॉफी 6-0 से जीती थी ये टीम, सेलिब्रिटी मेसी ऑल स्टार्स की टीम को हराकर। और फोटोग्राफ के लिए अभी भी वहां रोका जा रहा, लेकिन रोड्रिगो दी पॉल कह रहे हैं जश्न फुटबॉल का है तो कुछ और किक यहां पर लगाया जाए। चेहरे पर खुशी, चमकते चेहरे लियोनेल मेसी के, लुइस सुआरेज के, रोड्रिगो दी पॉल के। और हमारी कमेंट्री में उत्साह के साथ साथ ये शोर सुनने की कोशिश रोड्रिगो दी पॉल भी कर रहे हैं।
Well, then one of the star midfielders of Argentina. And that is the moment he's going to cherish it. He's got the ball. Wow, what a wonderful moment here. The platform is all set for this great genius. Who can forget Luis Suarez played in Barcelona with Lionel Messi. Rodrigo de Paul in that famous 2022 FIFA Qatar World Cup in the black jersey. Messi seems to be having a lot of fun here in Delhi, and that's great news. As the evening sets in, this is the chant for Messi to make him feel that he's so much welcomed in this great nation, India. And he's going to remember each and every moment that he spent here.
I would like to invite
जीवन
on
में हर
stage
तरह के अनुभव होते
a
हैं,
very
कई सारी ट्रॉफीज, विश्व कप, चैंपियंस लीग, ला लीगा, कोपा अमेरिका, लेकिन ये अनुभव मेसी के लिए भी खास होगा। दुनिया के दूसरे देश में जाकर इतना सारा प्यार, इतना सारा अपनापन, वो देश जहां क्रिकेट एक धर्म है, वो देश जहां फुटबॉल बहुत ज्यादा लोकप्रिय नहीं है, लेकिन लोकप्रियता है इस लेफ्ट फुटर की, लोकप्रियता है इस फुटबॉल के जादूगर की, लोकप्रियता है बार्सिलोना के इस स्टार की, पेरिस सेंट जर्मेन के इस स्टार की, इंटर मियामी के इस दिग्गज की, और लोकप्रियता है मौजूदा विश्व कप विजेता कप्तान की। हर कोई अपने जगह पर खड़ा है, हर कोई उनको देखना चाहता है, हर कोई उनके लिए ताली बजाना चाहता है, और इन सब के बीच जश्न है फुटबॉल का। और रोड्रिगो दी पॉल, मुनीश, ऐसा लग रहा है कि सबसे ज्यादा एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। और इस बीच जहां पर हम बैठे हैं उसके ठीक सामने से दिल्ली की मुख्यमंत्री रेखा गुप्ता जी का आगमन होता हुआ, और उनके साथ आईसीसी के प्रेसिडेंट जय शाह भी नजर।
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's a contrast to what happened, or rather what's been happening in the last few days. On Saturday, it started with Kolkata, was a complete disaster, and then moved to Hyderabad the same evening, followed by Mumbai and Delhi today. Moving on. Last evening, a terrorist mass shooting took place at Sydney's Bondi Beach. During a Hanukkah celebration, 16 people killed as of this minute, over 20 injured. Australian investigators have identified the two gunmen as a father-son duo, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, his son 24-year-old Naveed Akram. The son is alive, but the investigators believe it was a much bigger attack that was planned, given all the arms and ammunition that has now been recovered from the father-son duo. Reports indicate that the son was under the scanner even 6 years back for radicalization. He was linked to an Islamic State cell. It's a confirmation that's come in from the Australian authorities. Here's what we know about the father-son duo.
A Pakistani link has now been exposed in the Sydney terror attack. Australian authorities identified the two gunmen as a father and son duo, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was killed at the scene, and 24-year-old Naveed Akram, a Pakistani national residing in Sydney, taken into custody. Authorities say Sajid Akram legally owned 6 firearms, all registered to a recreational gun club he belonged to. He arrived in Australia on a student visa in 1998, switched to a partner visa in 2001, and later obtained a resident return visa, which he held until his death. His son, Naveed, was born in Sydney in 2001 and is an Australian citizen. In the hours after the shooting, police executed search warrants at 2 locations linked to the Akrams. The first, a short-term rental in Campsie, yielded a cache of ammunition and a vehicle bearing Islamic State flags. The second, the family home in Bonnyrigg, resulted in 2 arrests and the seizure of firearms, including the weapons used in the attack. In some more big revelations, investigators said that Naveed Akram had come under scrutiny before. A 2019 ASIO investigation examined his possible extremist ties, though no charges were ever filed. The discovery of IS flags in the vehicle has led authorities to treat the incident as a terrorist act, targeting the Jewish community. The attack has drawn condemnation from leaders across the globe. The United Nations Secretary General called it a heinous act of terror, while the United States, United Kingdom, and Israel issued statements of solidarity with Australia and the Jewish community. Meanwhile, as investigations continue, a memorial service is planned for tomorrow evening at Bondi Beach, followed by a national day of mourning declared for later this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back at 5 p.m, on top of the hour, we will have the story of Congress workers chanting death for the Prime Minister, saying they'll dig grave for the Prime Minister, if not today, tomorrow. Death threats to the Prime Minister from Congress, a rally that was organized in the national capital. Priyanka Vadra claims she doesn't know who it was, but visuals show they were Congress workers.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Please stop!
झुमका तेरा झुमका तेरा झुमका
Not there. मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Mumbai civil body elections to be held after 8 years on the 15th of January, results on 16th. After Kolkata and Mumbai, Messi completes his Delhi leg of the tour to India. Lashkar top commander Sergeant Jatt named in the Pahalgam attack charge sheet. Pakistani father-son duo behind the terror attack that claimed 16 lives in Sydney.
मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, आज नहीं तो कल खुदेगी। ये तरीके के नारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सोच और मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। यह अपने आप में बहुत ही निंदनीय है।
Storm in both houses of Parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, as the BJP raises Congress's chants wishing death upon the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi landing in Amman, the capital of Jordan, as part of his three-nation tour, which begins, of course, with Amman. Other nations being Ethiopia and Oman. His visit to Jordan is a historic one, celebrating 75 years of establishment of diplomatic ties between the two nations. During his 2-day stay, Prime Minister Modi will hold detailed discussions with King Abdullah II, Ibn al-Hussein, Prime Minister Jafar Hassan, and Crown Prince Al-Hussein bin Abdullah. He will also meet with the Indian diaspora in Jordan, who have made significant contributions to the India-Jordan relations, as also address a joint India-Jordan business summit that's slated for tomorrow. Prime Minister, who flew out of New Delhi early in the morning at around 8:30 a.m. has landed in Amman just a while back. These are pictures from about 15 minutes back. And he was given a ceremonial welcome at the airport. Remember, the Islamic country with the lineage of King Abdullah II going back to Prophet Muhammad. And a significant move there. Jordan has earlier given its highest civilian honor to the Prime Minister. And this is his second visit to mark 75 years of diplomatic ties between the two nations, taking place in Jordan of Amman, Amman of Jordan. And Jordan contributes significantly, not just to our energy, but interestingly to our food security also, because of abundant energy supplies. It is a big producer of fertilizers, and Jordan supplies a good amount of fertilizers to India. And the business summit. All right, friends, Maharashtra has announced elections to its urban municipal bodies, including the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, the BMC, and these are to be held on 15th of January, and the results are going to come out by 16th of January. The local body polls, insofar as the BMC is concerned, happening after a gap of 8 years because of some delimitation exercise that went in. Apart from Mumbai, 27 other municipal bodies, urban municipal bodies, or urban local bodies as they are called, to go for their polls. Listen to the soundbite coming in on the announcement. Okay, now it's important because of the kind of politics that has panned out between the last election and the new one, which is announced for January. The split in Shiv Sena happened during the same period. The split in the NCP happened during this same period. So there are multiple more players in the elections. BMC, of course, India's biggest municipal corporation. So all eyes would be there on that, apart from the fact that it would be a sort of a referendum also on the Fadnavis government, Eknath Shinde government, with the kind of work that has taken place over the last couple of years in Mumbai and, of course, Maharashtra. The municipal elections are, of course, taking place across the state, not just Mumbai. BMC, of course, the biggest one of them all. Satya Prakash joining us. Satya Prakash is joining us over the phone line on this. Satya Prakash, this was an announcement keenly awaited. It's been delayed for a few years now. Can you tell us what's the background of the announcement? Why this delay for the benefit of viewers? And what are the likely alignments? क्या alignments होने वाले हैं इस बार बृहन मुंबई म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के चुनाव में?
सत्य प्रकाश, देखिए इस बार बीएमसी चुनाव काफी इंटरेस्टेड होने वाला है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से 8 सालों बाद चुनाव हो रहा है और जिस तरह से कई परिस्थितियां बन रही, चाहे पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के देखा जाए और चाहे वार्ड के देखा जाए, तो इस बार कुछ अलग ही तस्वीरें देखने को मिलेगी। क्योंकि जो पिछले 8 साल पहले चुनाव हुए थे, जब बीजेपी और शिवसेना उद्धव ठाकरे गुट चुनाव साथ में लड़े थे और सत्ता में आई थी, और बीएमसी ऐसा चुनाव है जो कि सभी पार्टियां चाहती है कि सत्ता बढ़े, क्योंकि सबसे अमीर महानगर पालिका है। और इस बार उद्धव ठाकरे शिवसेना का कहने की अस्तित्व की लड़ाई है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र विधानसभा में जनता ने नकार दिया और जिस तरह से लोकल बॉडी इलेक्शन में जिस तरह से लगातार देखने को मिल रहा है कि एक तरफा जा रहा है, तो महानगर पालिका के जो चुनाव होने वाले 29 में कहीं न कहीं ये देखा जा रहा है कि शिवसेना, शिंदे गुट और बीजेपी साथ में चुनाव लड़ने वाले। फिलहाल जहां राज ठाकरे और उद्धव ठाकरे एक साथ चुनाव लड़ सकते हैं, वहीं बीजेपी और शिवसेना, शिंदे गुट एक साथ चुनाव लड़ सकते हैं। जी,
with those details and interesting alignments, realignments all slated to take place across Maharashtra, but all eyes, of course, on the biggest one, biggest municipal body of the country, and that's the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Moving on, a big development that took place in the Pahalgam attack case. The National Investigation Agency, NIA, has named Lashkar-e-Taiba commander Sajid Jatt in its charge sheet in connection with the case, identifying him as one of the key conspirators behind the targeted killing of Hindus that happened in Pahalgam on April 26. According to the charge sheet, Sajid Jatt, a resident of Shangamanga village in Pakistan's Kasur district of Punjab, is among the most active commanders of Lashkar and is described as the third most senior leader after LET chief Hafiz Saeed and then his son. We are going to get Gursimran. Okay, these are the details of the NIA charge sheet. Pakistan had clearly established Sajid Jatt, the key conspirator, key planner connected with Lashkar-e-Taiba. Remember, Lashkar-e-Taiba connections have emerged in the Sydney shooting case also. Okay, we are going to stay with this. In fact, not leaving this story. We're going to get Gursimran live in a bit. Gursimran, because the NIA court submitted this charge sheet in Jammu Special Court of NIA just a while back. And these details are damning insofar as the role of Pakistan and Pakistan-based terror factory are concerned. Lashkar-e-Taiba had clearly established Sajid Jatt, number 3 in the hierarchy of Lashkar-e-Taiba. All chords of this conspiracy and the terror attack lead to him. He's from Shangamanga village in Pakistan's Kasur district of Punjab and is named as the key conspirator behind the targeted killing of Hindus. Remember, those were picked up from the entire crowd and selectively killed for their religion. On one side, you're seeing pictures of the terror attack in Pahalgam, and on the other, pictures of NIA officials there reaching the Jammu court just before they filed the charge sheet. The charge sheet now, of course, has been filed. Gursimran is live with us now. Gursimran, what more can you share? How many pages of the charge sheet? What more details which link Pahalgam terror attack with Pakistan?
See, Abhishek, if we speak of this charge sheet, this is not like the Pulwama terror attack charge sheet that is going to be of the thousands of pages. This is a comprehensive charge sheet that the NIA has come out with. This time it is only detailed the handiwork of the Pakistan-based terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba and the active involvement of its cadre. And now what we are getting to know that it is Sajid Jatt that has been named. Sajid Jatt, who is considered as the architect of civilian killings in Jammu and Kashmir that all started in October 2021, and even his name has surfaced in the multiple terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. He's carrying a 10 lakh reward by the National Investigation Agency in the case linked to the civilian killings in the Kashmir Valley that was done by the terror group, the Resistance Front, because Pakistan wanted to give terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir a local color. Now Sajid Jatt is being named in this charge sheet as one of the key conspirators who not only hashed the conspiracy but also gave the directions how to execute it. He also used the social media to radicalize Pervez, Bashir and also Muhammad Yusuf. That is what directly and indirectly he has been involved in. He is the de facto head of the Resistance Front. Reason being, the face of the TRF is Sajjad Gul, who is from the Central Kashmir. But the brain and the main man behind TRF is also Sajid Jatt. He is the third senior most commander of the Lashkar-e-Taiba cadre after Hafiz Saeed. So you can see that one of the top leaders of Lashkar-e-Taiba based in Pakistan is the main architect of this terror attack that was conspired, the Pahalgam terror attack, in which 26 civilians were killed and the main target were Hindus. So one thing is now very clear that it was orchestrated from the land of Pakistan, because if we speak of Sajid Jatt, he is from the Shangamanga village of the Kasur district of Pakistan's Punjab province. So this was the larger conspiracy that was hashed by the Pakistani terror group Lashkar-e-Taiba that has now been documented by the National Investigation Agency based on some of the mobile chats, some of the social media media conversations, and also based on the Thoraya intercepts, the uplink and downlink of the Thoraya, the satellite phone that was recovered after Operation Mahadev on 28th of July, when 3 of the Pakistani terrorists, that includes Suleiman, Gibran and Afghan Hashim Afghan, that 3 were killed. From their possession, Thoraya was recovered, and from the intercept, the uplink and downlink intercept, it has been confirmed that it was Sajid Jatt who was actually taking the shots on behalf of the Pakistani terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba.
That's a big thing you are saying, telling us, Gursimran, that the charge sheet not only names the key conspirators and the key architect of the Pahalgam terror attack, which is Sajid Jatt, who's a Lashkar-e-Toiba operative number 3 in the hierarchy, but also that the charge sheet appends evidence by way of forensic evidence, by way of calls made between Sajid Jatt and these attackers who carried out the terror attack on that day. Do you think the charge sheet carries details of the phone calls? Because we know that in the subsequent operation in which the terrorists were killed, there was some evidence received of picked up of Pakistani, citizenship, Pakistani cards, etc. You think the charge sheet collates other evidence which nails Pakistan's role in this terror attack?
Yes, Abhishek, it is not only naming the Pakistan, but they have documented it with the proofs. And this is going to haunt Pakistan for a long, because what will happen, the next step will be that it will be helping India to isolate Pakistan in the international platforms as well. And also the letter rogatory will be the next step that the National Investigation Agency will be moving. Reason being that Sajid Jatt and many of the others that have been named in the charge sheet, they are still in Pakistan. We have named only 7 people that have been charge sheeted in this. But apart from that, we are also picking up that there are several more commanders and the leaders of Lashkar-e-Toiba that have been named in the charge sheet, and many of them have been will be subsequently named in the supplementary charge sheet that will be filed by the National Investigating Agency. But the documents and the digital devices and the intercepts that have come from the mobile phone, that have come from the Thoraya headset, that have come from the chats, that have come from the intel agencies, that is also going to make it really very difficult for Pakistan to say that they were not involved in the Pahalgam terror attack, because now India will show it to the world with the proofs that, see, this is what Pakistan has done.
Yes, good lowdown there, Gursimran, on the charge sheet filed by the National Investigation Agency in the Pahalgam terror attack, with the kind of tremendous evidence mining that's been done, and clearly pins the blame on Pakistan and its terror machine. That's for the world to see now. On that note, we move on from one terror attack to another, and this one also has a Pakistani role in it, or a Pakistani's role in it. Remember, on December 14, that's yesterday, a terrorist mass shooting took place in Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach during a Hanukkah celebration, and this led to the killing of 16 citizens, most of them Australian Jews, and left dozens injured. Australian authorities identified the 2 gunmen as a father and son duo, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was killed at the spot, and 24-year-old Naveed Akram, a Pakistani national residing in Sydney, who was critically injured and was taken into custody. Now we have, in fact, Israel's ambassador to New Delhi, Reuven Azar, speaking to Republic's Shawan Sen a while back, and expressing shock at the manner in which the Australian government have really allowed a situation to emerge where the Jews there could be so easily targeted. Listen to the Israeli ambassador.
Ambassador, I must ask you this, because with the Australian authorities now making it clear that the gunmen were of Pakistani origin, Islamic radicalization is back on the spotlight right now, is on Islamic radicalization itself. I want to ask you, where do you really stand on this entire issue, keeping in mind that we're looking at a Pakistani origin gunman, secondly, Islamic State flags being found, and of course, the growing Islamic radicalization, which becomes a massive threat for all countries?
It is actually, like you said, an increasing threat. I think that we can do much more, not only on the intelligence side, to try to undermine these attacks, but also on the public policy. We cannot tolerate anymore people that are raising the flags of the Islamic State and call it free speech. We cannot tolerate anymore people raising Hamas flags and calling it free speech. We cannot tolerate the term globalized intifada, because everybody in the jihadi world knows what that means. That means kill Jews. So we have to, I think, change the approach on how hate speech is being expressed, especially in Western countries, because the jihadists are actually exploiting the fact, exploiting our values in order to expand their ideology, which proves itself time and again to be very, very detrimental to the lives of innocent people, to the existence of minorities, and to peace in general.
Ambassador, are you suggesting that Israeli intelligence agencies had already warned their counterparts in Australia of a possible attack against the Jewish community in Australia? Because it appears from the way the Israeli foreign minister has made the statement, it is quite clear that the intelligence agencies were on a high alert and they were suspecting that such an attack could take place.
Well, there is a pattern in the last 2 years by which different state agencies, including the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps, are using criminal elements around the world in order to attack Jewish communities and Israeli assets. So we know that has been a rise in the threat. Unfortunately, what we haven't had is enough understanding from the part of the Australian government. What are the implications of refraining with dealing with hate speech and anti-Semitic attacks from the sort that we've seen? And I think more robust measures.
Did your government warn? Did your government warn the Australians that this could happen?
Well, look, I cannot comment on specific intelligence issues. I think that we have a combination here of an increasing trend that we've seen very clearly, a status of alert from the side of our intelligence agencies in their conversations with their counterparts. And in some cases, we've seen government acting more robustly to defend Jewish communities, because we've been seeing more attacks against Jewish communities in different places around the world. And this demands a much more robust response from the governments and security forces everywhere.
All right, let's also listen to more eyewitness accounts that put into perspective what unfolded during those tense moments in Sydney yesterday.
Tell me what happened.
Yes, there was two shooters, one on the bridge, one under the bridge. Just started to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot, change magazine and just shoot. Simple as that. 20 minutes, was 4 policemen there. Nobody gave fire back. Nothing, like they are froze. Like for, it looked like 20 minutes. Like, and they shoot. The guy changed magazine. I look at him all the time. I was with 2 of my babies under me, and I look at that. And it's just rifle and a pistol, and just shoot. And the other one was under. They started to come close to the audience. I think one of the people took his rifle and shoot him. That's one of them. That's what I saw. I didn't know how much I saw, but...
Who were they targeting?
Oh, all the crowd. Anyone, Jewish, just shoot. Doesn't matter who. Men, all kids, everyone was no.
Did they say anything?
I couldn't hear. Like the shooting was so loud, we couldn't hear if they say. I was too far. Like he was on the bridge, I was near the tent. So, but I saw. I look at him. I look what he shot. I look at his rifle. He aimed. He did. He really take his time. He should take his time. And 4 policemen there didn't give fire back. I don't understand why. Why?
What was going through your mind?
I feel like I'm Israeli, like I'm familiar with this situation, but like it's terrible in the middle of Bondi. It's terrible, terrible.
What was tonight supposed to be about?
Hanukkah events, Jewish Hanukkah events, like we do it every year. Sunday, first day of Hanukkah, we do it here.
A bystander tackled and wrestled a gun from one of the two gunmen during the Bondi Beach mass shooting, in which 16 were killed. It was reported that the man was a 43-year-old fruit shop owner. Meet the hero of the Sydney attack.
Oh! C'est un malade. Oh mon gros!
Hope he will be fine. He's a hero, 100%. He's a hero because what we see on the social media, he's 100% hero.
Oh! C'est un malade. Oh mon gros! Oh! Ouais, mais il y a ses potes, il va se faire tirer dessus. Il est trop con le mec qui a l'arme.
December 14th, 2025 was a dreadful day for Australia as a mass shooting at Sydney's Bondi Beach killed 15 innocent people. This turned into the deadliest attack in the country in years. A father and son, Sajid and Naveen Akram, attacked a Hanukkah celebration on Sydney's Bondi Beach on Sunday, killing 15 people and injuring dozens of others. During the horrific incident taking place, a man ran and disarmed one of the gunmen. He is now being heralded as a hero who saved several lives. Ahmed Al-Ahmed crouched behind a parked car before sneaking up behind a gunman, grabbing him and wrestling away his firearm. The bystander then points the weapon at the gunman, who falls to the ground.
Still, he's in the hospital and we don't know exactly what's going inside. But they said the doctor, he's very okay. And next 2 hours, they let us to go in and see Ahmed because he's still inside and he do the operation. But we hope he will be fine. He's a hero, 100%. He's a hero because what we see on the social media, he's 100% hero. Yeah, he have 2 shots, one in his arm here and one in his hand.
The Premier of New South Wales also hailed Ahmed Al-Ahmed for tackling one of the gunmen during the Bondi Beach shooting.
I think it's the most unbelievable scene I've ever seen. A man walking up to a gunman who had fired on the community and single-handedly disarming him, putting his own life at risk to save the lives of countless other people. That man is a genuine hero, and I've got no doubt that there are many, many people alive tonight as a result of his bravery.
Oh! C'est un malade. Oh mon gros! Oh!
And in Australia, you probably read there's been a very, very brave person actually who went and attacked frontally one of the shooters and saved a lot of lives. So very brave person who's right now in the hospital, pretty seriously wounded. So great respect to that man that did that.
We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews.
Police claims the attack was targeted at the Jewish community during a Hanukkah event at Bondi Beach. 29 people were taken to the hospital, including a 10-year-old child.
As part of the investigation and shortly after the shooting occurred, police located a vehicle in Campbell Parade at Bondi, which we believe has several improvised explosive devices. We have our rescue bomb disposal unit there at the moment working on that.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores in an iconic Australian location, Bondi Beach, that is associated with joy, associated with families gathering, associated with celebrations, and it is forever tarnished by what has occurred last evening. This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah, which of course should be a joyous celebration, and the Jewish community are hurting today. Today, all Australians wrap our arms around them and say, we stand with you. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp out anti-Semitism. It is a scourge and we will eradicate it together. The Australian Federal Police and ASIO are working closely with New South Wales authorities, and the briefing we've just had, we have had the AFP there, and the AFP Commissioner will return to Australia today. We will dedicate every single resource that is required in responding to this. To the brave responders, first responders, including ordinary citizens who acted yesterday.
All right, be it the Pahalgam terror attack, which is coming up next, or the Bondi Beach, the Pakistan connection is there. NIA filing a charge sheet in Pahalgam case, Pakistan link established.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
प्लीज स्टॉप।
झुमका तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
Welcome back. A more clear Pakistan link now emerges even in the Bondi Beach terror attack that happened in Sydney yesterday, and global attention getting focused again on Lashkar-e-Taiba, proscribed terror organization operating out of Pakistan, as in the case of Pahalgam, so Bondi. Let's focus and start with headlines. Mumbai civic body elections to be held on Jan 15, results on January 16. After Kolkata and Mumbai, Messi now completes his Delhi leg of the GOAT, greatest of all times tour. Lashkar top commander Sajid Chhat named in Pahalgam terror attack charge sheet. Pakistani father-son duo behind terror attack that claimed 16 lives in Australia.
कब्र खुदेगी, आज नहीं तो कल खुदेगी। ये तरीके के नारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सोच और मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। यह अपने आप में बहुत ही निंदनीय है।
Uproar over death threats to Prime Minister during Congress workers' rally in Delhi. BJP raises issue in Parliament.
And there's breaking news coming in. Australian intelligence agencies flagged concerns about Australians travelling to Pakistan for terror training, as mentioned in the 2024 Annual Threat Assessment Report. The report had highlighted radicalised Australians were being tracked travelling to Pakistan, where they received training with terrorist groups. This intelligence suggests Pakistan-based groups posed a threat to Australia's national security. The ASIO's report noted some Australians who returned from Pakistan were involved in extremist activities, raising concerns about potential terror attacks in Australia. Let me go across to my colleague Niranjan, who's joining us from the newsroom. Niranjan, give us more details.
Rhythm, this is extremely significant because, there is a lot of speculation around the identity of Sajid and Naveed Akram. 50-year-old Sajid Akram, the father, along with his son Naveed Akram. There are different reports. Once again, these are reports that suggest that they were of Pakistani origin. There are some reports that also talk of their foreign visit just before the attack took place in Sydney, Australia. Now, we have with us a report that was prepared and presented by the head of Australian intelligence agency, which is the ASIO, the Australian Security Intelligence Agency. And we have accessed that entire report from 2024, about 1 year back, when they gave out details specifically talking about the threat from Pakistan. So it's significant that on the back of the attack in Bondi Beach in Australia, the ASIO had gone on record to say that in the 1990s, 2000s, they had seen a pattern. They said, and I quote, "We began tracking a concerning trend where radicalized Australians were traveling to Afghanistan and Pakistan to train with terrorist groups. Of the 25 who returned to Australia, 19 were actively involved in extremist activity. 8 were convicted of terror. In 1990s, 2000s onwards, we began tracking a concerning trend where radicalized Australians, I repeat, radicalized Australians were traveling to Pakistan to train with terrorist groups. And of the 25 who returned to Australia, 19 were actively involved in extremist activity, 8 were convicted of terror." So it is the same ASIO which is looking at the terror attack in Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, that flagged radicalized Australians traveling to Pakistan. Why are we repeating and emphasizing this? Because you look at the attack in Bondi Beach in Australia, very similar to what happened in Pahalgam. In Pahalgam, you had them targeting Hindus, Pakistani terrorists targeting Hindus. Hindus were singled out and attacked. In Sydney, Australia, a Jewish community event was targeted specifically, religious slogans raised, like in the case of Pahalgam. And there are some reports that suggest that the terrorists, in this case Sajid and Naveed, in their car, on the bonnet or on the windshield, had an ISIS flag displayed. ISIS flag, IEDs, arms and ammunition recovered from the car of these terrorists. And there are reports that suggest, we are not confirming, but there are reports that suggest that they had some connection with Pakistan/Pakistan terror group /Lashkar. So we are waiting for those details. But the fact that the ASIO, the Australian investigating agency, had itself mentioned this practice or this trend of radicalized Australians traveling to Pakistan and had flagged it 1 year back becomes extremely critical. Back to you for now.
Thank you, Niranjan, for giving us those details. Very sinister plans that are seen there. We'll also take a look at what's making headlines across the nation. Dense fog continues to grip North India, severely reducing visibility. About 6 vehicles collided in Hadpur in Uttar Pradesh due to thick fog, reduced visibility, leaving many injured. Further details are awaited. It's that time of the year when we're taking in poison. National capital continues to choke as air quality index is slipping to severe for many areas in Delhi. The AQI of many areas is nearly 500, which is toxic this morning, causing difficulty in breathing for many residents. GARP4 is in place in Delhi. Dense fog and reduced visibility is continuing. Many schools have gone into hybrid mode. Alas, there is no end to this solution. With the last leg of Lionel Messi's G80 tour scheduled in Delhi, the Arun Jaitley Stadium is all set to host the global football icon in the national capital. Strict security measures are in place in view of the mismanagement that happened in Kolkata. Traffic advisory has been released in the Delhi traffic rules for route diversions in the city.
पुलिस के द्वारा डाइवर्जन्स दिए गए हैं सभी हैवी व्हीकल्स और बसेस का। राजघाट चौक से, दिल्ली गेट चौक से, ITO चौक से, राउंड अबाउट झंडेवाला से, अजमेरी गेट चौक से और मिंटो रोड पे चढ़ने के रंजीत सिंह फ्लाईओवर लेने से पहले बादा खंबा रोड से, इन सभी जगहों से हैवी बसेस और ट्रक को।
And Indian economy expected to grow at 7% in 2026 as compared to 6.5% in 2025. CRISIL raised its projections for India's GDP after robust economic growth was registered in the first half of the fiscal year. Domestic consumption likely to drive growth along with GST rationalization and income tax relief. The politics is heating up over issuing death threats to Prime Minister Modi at a Congress rally. The BJP has now accused the Congress workers of issuing death threats to Prime Minister Modi after a video surfaced showing them shouting such slogans ahead of the opposition's rally at Ramlila Maidan in and around. Face off now. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju has taken on the grand old party for the discourse, while Congress MPs, including Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, has defended their cadre over the issue, claiming someone from the public or a worker made the statement, but it is unclear who said what.
हम लोग सब इस सदन का सदस्य है, अलग अलग पार्टी से। हम लोग एक दूसरे का विरोधी है, हम दुश्मन नहीं है। आप बात को सुनो, गंभीरता से सुनो बात को। हम लोग एक दूसरे के दुश्मन नहीं है, हम एक दूसरे के विरोधी हैं। 2014 में बीजेपी का एक MP ने एक गलत शब्द प्रयोग किया था विरोधियों के ऊपर। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने तुरंत अपना MP को माफी मांगने के लिए कहा और उन्होंने माफी मांगी, क्योंकि हम इस सदन में लोगों के द्वारा चुने हुए प्रतिनिधि के हिसाब से काम करते हैं। कल कांग्रेस के रैली में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का कब्र खोदने के लिए बात कहा गया है। ये इस देश के लिए बहुत दुखद समय है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ऐसा शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं और सारे कांग्रेस पार्टी पूरे का पूरे नेतृत्व उस रैली में मौजूद थे और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का कब्र खोदने के लिए इन्होंने नारा लगाया। इस देश के लिए इससे शर्मनाक, इससे ज्यादा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण कोई चीज नहीं हो सकता है कि देश के प्रधानमंत्री 140 करोड़ के नेता, विश्व में सबसे प्रसिद्ध, सबसे मजबूत नेता आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का कब्र खोदने के लिए कांग्रेस के रैली में बात कहा गया है। मैं चाहता हूं कांग्रेस के नेतृत्व माफी मांगना चाहिए, इस सदन के माध्यम से देश से माफी मांगना चाहिए। राज्यसभा में भी, लोकसभा में भी कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष स्थगित की जा रही है।
सर, बहुत ही दुख के साथ और उद्वेलित मन से मैं एक विषय को सदन के सामने लाना चाहता हूं कि कल जो कांग्रेस पार्टी की रैली हुई उसमें नारे लगे, मोदी तेरी मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, आज नहीं तो कल खुदेगी। ये इस तरीके के नारे, ये बात रिकॉर्ड पे जा रही है प्लीज, ये तरीके के नारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सोच और मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। ये नामदारों के झंझलाहट को स्पष्ट इंगित करता है और साथ में इस तरीके की बात कहना एक प्रधानमंत्री जी के खिलाफ और मृत्यु की कामना करना, यह अपने आप में इसके लिए हमारे नेता प्रतिपक्ष और कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता यहाँ बैठी हैं, आदरणीय सोनिया गांधी जी, इनको देश से माफी मांगनी चाहिए और देश से माफी मांगनी चाहिए और ये नामदारों की झंझाट है, इसको समझना चाहिए। और मैं ये भी कहना चाहूंगा कि राजनीति का स्तर कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इतना गिरा दिया है जो कल्पना के बाहर है। इसलिए इसकी मैं घोर निंदा भी करता हूं और मैं श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी से
Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, other Congress MPs have defended the slogans raised against Prime Minister Modi during a Congress rally.
ये नहीं पूछते कि यहाँ पे सरकार खुद सेशन को डिस्टर्ब कर रही है, कि पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स के मंत्री खुद क्वेश्चनर को डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं। ये आप नहीं पूछ रहे कि क्या हो रहा है संसद के अंदर। तो हम लोग आपस में बात कर रहे थे कि किसने कहा ये सब, हमें तो मालूम ही नहीं है। हमें मंच पे तो बिल्कुल ऐसा नहीं हुआ। फिर पता चला कि पब्लिक में किसी ने इंटरव्यू दिया, पब्लिक में कोई कह रहा है, कोई कार्यकर्ता है या कौन है, किसी को मालूम भी नहीं है कौन है, उनको खुद नहीं मालूम कौन है। तो सदन में उठा क्यों रहे हैं, और वो भी क्वेश्चन आवर के टाइम। मुझे लगता है चलाना ही नहीं चाह रहे हैं। अब किस लिए हमने पोल्यूशन पे डिबेट मांगा है, वो भी नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो मतलब अगर सदन चलाना ही नहीं है तो फिर ऐसे, इससे अच्छा तो बंद कर दीजिए। कम से कम जितना पोल्यूशन, हमारी सारी गाड़ियां जो हैं, सब लोग 10-10 गाड़ियां लाते हैं सिक्योरिटी की, जितना पोल्यूशन फैला रही है वो तो बंद हो जाएगा।
कौन अब्यूसिव लैंग्वेज यूज कर, नाम बताइए ना। बिना नाम जनाब का आज ये पूछना सही है क्या? यहाँ पार्लियामेंट, मैं बोल रहा हूँ, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर अमित शाह ने वर्ड यूज किया। किसका माफी मांगना चाहिए? अमित शाह का माफी मांगना चाहिए, हमें माफी मांगना चाहिए? अमित शाह पार्लियामेंट का मंदिर बोलते हैं, मंदिर के अंदर वर्ड यूज करता है, वो आके माफी नहीं मांगता है। और वोट चोरी, गद्दी चोर रैली इतना बड़ा सक्सेस हो गया, इसलिए समझ नहीं पा रहे वो क्या रहा है इस देश में, इसलिए आके पार्लियामेंट डिस्टर्ब करने लगे।
This is totally a baseless drama they are created today. I think it is because of the biggest successful conducted rally. Delhi never seen this type of enthusiasm, this type of participation for a Congress rally within these 10-15 years. It may be provoked them, but what they are blaming, I asked Kiran Rijiju, any Congress leader spoke about it. They are telling some people in the rally, they are telling all these things. These are baseless. We don't know. Lakhs of people are participating in the rally. It is not our customs to blame, use dirty language, unacceptable language against any political leader, even though they are our political enemies. Our party's policy is not like that.
According to highly placed sources, a Goa police team is scheduled to fly to Delhi this evening and stay overnight, as the Luthra brothers are expected to be deported from Thailand and arrive in the national capital tomorrow evening. The Goa police team will formally arrest both brothers in Delhi upon their arrival, after which further legal proceedings will follow in the aftermath of the Birch fire tragedy that has been a severe, strict crackdown on all nightclubs in Goa, specifically to check if compliances have been in place. This is also a later ground report from one such nightclub that has now been sealed.
25 people were killed in a major fire tragedy in the state of Goa in Burj by Romeo Lane nightclub owned by Luthra brothers, who are right now in the Bangkok Immigration Center and will be brought down by tomorrow. They'll land in India by the central agencies, and today the Goa police team will fly to Delhi to arrest them and take their custody. And on the other hand, strict action has been initiated by the Goa administration and Goa police. And in that action, several nightclubs, restaurants and bars are sealed who do not have fire NOC or other permissions. Town planning or excise department permissions. This is a CO2 nightclub cafe. Right now we are standing in front of the same, and I'll ask my video journalist to zoom in to the order. This is sealed and there is a government order saying there's a fire NOC, missing fire NOC right now. We can read those lines: absence, non-functional fire fighting equipment, inadequate or blocked emergency exits, non-compliance with basic fire prevention and life safety measures. So we can see strict action has been taken on several such nightclubs, restaurants and bars in Goa.
The Luthras are going to be deported, and this is the big news that we're getting. And then once they are here, they're going to face the law in Goa. We've also heard that the Goa police team is already scheduled to fly to Delhi this evening. They are staying overnight here. The Luthra brothers are going to be deported back here from Thailand. And very crucial, as the Saket court had earlier heard the hearings where they had been represented by senior advocate Siddharth Luthra, the Luthra brothers to be soon here. The big news also that the legal team is now in Thailand. The Luthra brothers to be brought back. And there is breaking news coming in on our top focus story that we are tracking right here. And this is the army. The other news that we are tracking, the army showcases captured Pakistan drones. India showcases captured Pakistani military drone. We're going to go across and give you some details that are coming in from that story. Indian Army showcases the captured Pakistani military drone of Turkish origin brought down by the Indian forces on 10th of May during Operation Sindoor. This drone had taken off from Lahore. It was headed to an army installation in Punjab. I'm going to be joined by Gursimran to give us more details. We're also going to show you those shots. Gursimran, once again, India shows and gives proof of the nefarious designs by Pakistan. Give us more details.
Yes, now Indian Army has once again come out with this drone, the Turkish origin drone that was used by Pakistan to target the vital installations of the Indian Army during the Operation Sindoor. It was from the 6th to 9th of the May when Operation Sindoor was in full swing. Pakistan tried to target the vital installation of the Indian Army falling under the Northern Command area. This was targeted using a Turkish drone, but the drone was brought down by the Indian Armed Forces as part of its aerial defense system. And the AD defense, we know that how AD systems have worked during the Operation Sindoor, that around the clock monitoring and also the deterrence that was provided, it actually failed any nefarious plan of Pakistan. Even the swarm drones attack of the Pakistan was also foiled. But now this Turkish drone with the Indian Army, this proves that how Pakistan was operating in close alliance with the Turkey so that they can actually inflict maximum damage to the Indian Armed Forces. But all the attempts of the Pakistan and its alliance partners, be it Turkey or China, they have been foiled by the India's air defense system, and we have seen what has been the face of the HQ-9 systems that the Pakistan had, that they have got from their dear friend China, but that were completely decimated in the India's initial strikes on the Pakistani armed forces locations after they attempted to target the location of the civilian as well as the military locations of India. And now this video that has been surfaced, this clearly shows that there was a Turkish hand behind Operation Sindoor, backing to Pakistan Operation Bunyan ur Masroor. That was not only Pakistan's, but it was backed by China and Turkey. But how it has been completely decimated, that is clearly visible in this video, that India has brought down a Turkish drone that attempted to target a key location of the Indian Army.
And I also want to tell our viewers that these visuals that we're showing you are of the Pakistani drone that had been captured, brought down by Indian forces on 10th of May during Operation Sindoor, highlighting viewers the ongoing counter-drone measures and also the operational preparedness that with which India had gone there. This is the captured Pakistani drone. We have a report that's coming in from there. This drone had taken off from Lahore. It was headed to army installation in Punjab. The Indian Army drones are also on display, but this is the Pakistani drone captured in Operation Sindoor. And this captured Pakistani drone on 10th of May that had come towards India, brought down by our Indian forces, right here for everyone to see. The Pakistani military drone of Turkish origin, highlighting India's counter-drone measuredness and operational preparedness, clearly on display for everyone to see. It's also a moment where we say Jai Hind.
This drone took off from Lahore Air Base and it was heading towards one of the army installations in Punjab sector. While decoding, we have found out the takeoff point, that is from where it has launched, the flight path, which was pre-fed, the destination where it was heading to, and the various payload data, which includes cameras, IR sensors, radar sensors. With all this data, the tool analyzes and gives out complete mission details of the drone, which enables the user in finding out various tactical and strategic decisions and the intent of the mission, what the enemy was planning. Taken off from Lahore, that is, I have already covered.
So can you, if possible, tell me where
It is a possibility. A bird oblique a weapon which is launched.
So can you, if possible, tell me
It is a
Coming up after a short break, Lashkar top commander Sajid Jatt named in Pahalgam attack charge sheet. And Pakistani father-son duo behind terror attack that claimed 16 lives.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप। Please stop! झुमका तेरा झुमका
Not there. मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा.
तेरा झुमका। मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा।
I thought that we were very close with Russia to having a deal. I thought we were very close with Ukraine.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Tanisha Avasthi. Let's quickly get started with all the 6 stories that have set the agenda for the day. Most of the terror attacks, ladies and gentlemen, that happen in the country or even outside India happen mainly because of one country, that is Pakistan. And the same this time has happened in Australia. The Australia attack has been declared as a terror attack by the Australian Prime Minister, similar to what happened in Pahalgam. The only difference
This time it were the Jews who were targeted. Now yesterday, in a Congress rally, Congress workers had chanted death chants for Prime Minister Modi. The BJP has now raised this issue in the parliament and has demanded an unconditional apology. We'll tell you what the political row is all about. In a surprise move by the BJP, they have introduced Nitin Nabin as the BJP's working president. But why is Nitin Nabin BJP's top choice? Time is meanwhile up for the Luthra brothers. Sources have now told that they will be brought back to India as early as tomorrow. And the last story that we're tracking on this edition is coming in from Pahalgam, where in the terror attack case, the NIA has now submitted the charge sheet. It has named Lashkar terrorists, and the Pakistan link is now undeniable. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to the first story. On December 14th, a terrorist mass shooting occurred at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach during a Hanukkah celebration. At least 16 people were killed and dozens were left injured. Australian authorities have identified the two gunmen as father-son duo, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was killed at the scene, and 24-year-old Naveed, who was the son. A Pakistani national again residing in Sydney, taken into custody now. Reports are indicating that Naveed had prior scrutiny from the security agencies. Also, there was a 2019 report, ASIO investigation linked to extremist ties, and Islamic State flags were found in their vehicle. The attack, declared an act of terror, an act of targeting the Jewish community, has prompted widespread condemnation of terrorism. Here's what happened, and here is how the terror attack in Australia is linked to Pakistan.
A Pakistani link has now been exposed in the Sydney terror attack. Australian authorities identified the two gunmen as a father and son duo, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was killed at the scene, and 24-year-old Naveed Akram, a Pakistani national residing in Sydney, taken into custody. Authorities say Sajid Akram legally owned 6 firearms, all registered to a recreational gun club he belonged to. He arrived in Australia on a student visa in 1998, switched to a partner visa in 2001, and later obtained a resident return visa, which he held until his death. His son, Naveed, was born in Sydney in 2001 and is an Australian citizen. In the hours after the shooting, police executed search warrants at 2 locations linked to the Akrams. The first, a short-term rental in Campsie, yielded a cache of ammunition and a vehicle bearing Islamic State flags. The second, the family home in Bonnyrigg, resulted in 2 arrests and the seizure of firearms, including the weapons used in the attack. In some more big revelations, investigators said that Naveed Akram had come under scrutiny before. A 2019 ASIO investigation examined his possible extremist ties, though no charges were ever filed. The discovery of IS flags in the vehicle has led authorities to treat the incident as a terrorist act, targeting the Jewish community. The attack has drawn condemnation from leaders across the globe. The United Nations Secretary General called it a heinous act of terror, while the United States, United Kingdom, and Israel issued statements of solidarity with Australia and the Jewish community. Meanwhile, as investigations continue, a memorial service is planned for tomorrow evening at Bondi Beach, followed by a national day of mourning declared for later this week.
And as Australian investigators probe the ISIS angle of the terror attack at Sydney's Bondi Beach, there are victims, the family of the victims, who have lit candles and floral tributes that have poured in for the victims of the attack. Here's a report on how Australia is grieving for the loss of human lives and how India stands in solidarity with the country.
A slow gait, head bowed, as Prime Minister of Australia pays tribute to the victims of terror shooting at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach. The Bondi Pavilion in Sydney witnessed floral tributes to those who died in the mass shooting on the previous evening. Two gunmen opened fire at a gathering in Sydney's Bondi Beach, sending shockwaves through Australia. People had gathered for Hanukkah celebrations, a festival celebrated by Jews across the globe. As gunshots echoed through the beachfront, horror unfolded in Australia, with the Prime Minister confirming it as a terror attack.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of terror, an act of anti-Semitism, an attack on the first day of Hanukkah, targeted at the Jewish community. A dark day in Australia's history on what should have been a day of light. One of the things that is coming through, though, is that the community want to be able to express their support and solidarity. And I would urge and join with others who have urged Australians across the country to light a candle, put it in their front window tonight at 6:47 p.m.
Hanukkah celebrations at Sydney's Bondi Beach turned into Australia's deadliest mass shooting in decades. The beachfront was lit with candles in tribute to the victims, with sympathy pouring in from across the globe. The beach is now left with scars of terror as the eyewitnesses recall the horror of the evening of December 14th.
There's two shooters, one on the bridge, one under the bridge. Just start to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot, change magazine and just shoot. I look at him all the time. I was with two of my babies under me, and I look at that, and it's just rifle and a pistol, and just shoot. And the other one was under. They start to come close to the audience. One of the people took his rifle and shoot him.
Australian investigators are probing the ISIS angle of the attack and the Pakistani-based father-son terror duo who were allegedly associated with ISIS. Flowers at the Bondi Pavilion, candles at the beach serve as a reminder of the terror threat as Australia now pushes for tougher gun laws.
Congress party is another huge controversy again. This after their workers raised slogans by chanting death threats to the Prime Minister. This happened during a rally against the alleged vote rigging in the national capital. The slogan perceived as a death threat drew sharp reactions from the BJP, with Union Minister Kiran Rijiju demanding an apology from the Congress leaders Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge. Congress leaders defended the slogan, claiming it reflected public anger over the alleged electoral manipulation. However, the BJP condemned the remarks, stating it showed Congress's true character.
A death threat so casually directed at the elected head of a democracy, exposing the real agenda under the garb of electoral issues. Top Congress leaders on the dais: Sonia Gandhi, LOP Rahul Gandhi, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, all holding the Constitution of India. A rally held to step up opposition's allegations over vote theft and special intensive revision. But what happened on the sidelines was absolutely shocking. Death chants to the Prime Minister by associates of the country's oldest political party. The Parliament today echoed with demands of unconditional apology from the Congress party.
कल कांग्रेस के रैली में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का कब्र खोदने के लिए बात कहा गया है। ये इस देश के लिए बहुत दुखद समय है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ऐसा शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करते हैं और सारे कांग्रेस पार्टी पूरे का पूरे नेतृत्व उस रैली में मौजूद थे और प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का कब्र खोदने के लिए इन्होंने नारा लगाया। इस देश के लिए इससे शर्मनाक, इससे ज्यादा दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण कोई चीज नहीं हो सकता है।
Criticism is certainly part of a democratic setup, but an overt death threat to the Prime Minister was unprecedented. The upper house of the parliament also saw BJP leaders asking the Congress leadership to apologize.
मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, आज नहीं तो कल खुदेगी। ये तरीके के नारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सोच और मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। इसके लिए हमारे नेता प्रतिपक्ष और कांग्रेस पार्टी के नेता यहाँ बैठी हैं, आदरणीय सोनिया गांधी जी, इनको देश से माफी मांगनी चाहिए, देश से माफी मांगनी चाहिए और ये नामदारों की जो बुनियाद है इसको समझना चाहिए। और मैं ये भी कहना चाहूंगा कि राजनीति का स्तर कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इतना गिरा दिया है जो कल्पना के बाहर है।
Priyanka Gandhi refused to acknowledge the weight of the situation, saying public or a worker must have made such comments.
आप ये नहीं पूछते कि यहाँ पे सरकार खुद सेशन को डिस्टर्ब कर रही है, कि पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स के मंत्री खुद क्वेश्चन आवर को डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं। ये आप नहीं पूछ रहे कि क्या हो रहा है संसद के अंदर। तो हम लोग आपस में बात कर रहे थे कि किसने कहा ये सब, हमें तो मालूम ही नहीं है। हमें मंच पे तो बिल्कुल ऐसा नहीं हुआ। फिर पता चला कि पब्लिक में किसी ने इंटरव्यू दिया, पब्लिक में कोई कह रहा है, कोई कार्यकर्ता है या कौन है, किसी को मालूम भी नहीं है कौन है, उनको खुद नहीं मालूम कौन है। तो सदन में उठा क्यों रहे हैं, और वो भी क्वेश्चन आवर के टाइम। मुझे लगता है चलाना ही नहीं चाह रहे हैं।
The Congress MP Manikam Tagore went another mile, alleging the Home Minister Amit Shah of using derogatory language in the Parliament.
कौन अब्यूसिव लैंग्वेज यूज किया, नाम बताइए ना। बिना नाम जनाब का आज ये पूछना सही है क्या? यहाँ पार्लियामेंट मैं बोल रहा हूँ, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर अमित शाह ने वर्ड यूज किया। किसका माफी मांगना चाहिए? अमित शाह का माफी मांगना चाहिए, हमें माफी मांगना चाहिए? अमित शाह पार्लियामेंट का मंदिर बोलते हैं, मंदिर के अंदर वर्ड यूज करता है, वो आके माफी नहीं मांगता है। और वोट चोरी गद्दी चोर रैली इतना बड़ा सक्सेस हो गया, इसलिए समझ नहीं पा रहे वो क्या रहा है इस देश में, इसलिए आके पार्लियामेंट डिस्टर्ब करने लगे।
These slogans are not accidental. It's part of a pattern seen at Congress events, from abusing the Prime Minister's mother to death threats. The Congress is a serial offender.
And now in other news that's related to the BJP has sprung a surprise when they appointed the 5-time legislator Nitin Nabin as its working national president. This happened today. The induction was done today. The announcement was made just yesterday. We learned that the announcement has triggered celebrations among the party workers across the country, specifically in Bihar, because he is the youngest leader, that too the first working president of the BJP from Bihar itself. At 45, Nabin has become the youngest working president in party's history. He arrived in the national capital today and formally assumed the charge at the BJP national headquarters again in the national capital. Senior leaders including Amit Shah, JP Nadda and Piyush Goyal were there during the handover. Now, why is it that BJP chose Nitin Nabin as their working president, and why was the surprise element given when nobody had actually expected Nitin Nabin to be the working president of the BJP? Here's why.
The BJP announced 5-time legislator Nitin Nabin as the party's next national working president. His appointment garnered wishes and accolades from all over the country, and celebrations broke out amongst party workers with cheers and slogans marking the announcement. At just 45 years of age, Nabin becomes the youngest ever BJP working president, marking a clear push towards generational transition. Today, the newly appointed BJP National Working President Nitin Nabin arrived in Delhi to assume charge of his official responsibilities at the party headquarters, marking a significant milestone in his political career. Nitin Nabin was accorded a warm welcome after he arrived at the BJP national headquarters in the capital. Later, Nabin took charge at the party headquarters in Delhi, in the presence of Union Home Minister Amit Shah, outgoing National President JP Nadda, Delhi's Chief Minister Rekha Gupta and other party leaders as well.
Viewers, Republic is here at the BJP headquarters, and today the newly appointed working president, Mr. Nitin Nabin, is being felicitated here. There is JP Nadda and also Amit Shah. Home Minister Amit Shah is also present here, and you can see several MPs of the Bharatiya Janata Party and of the Delhi cabinet ministers are also present there. And just a few hours ago, Nitin Nabin was grandly welcomed at the IGI airport by the Delhi CM Rekha Gupta, as well as other ministers of her cabinet and other MPs of the Bharatiya Janata Party. A lot of other workers, BJP workers, were also present there, raising, chanting slogans, praising Mr. Nitin Nabin.
For now, Nitin Nabin remains more of a symbol than a storyline. Youngest ever BJP president stepping into a chair once occupied by stalwarts of the party's genesis.
And just a week ago, ladies and gentlemen, there was a horrific blaze that ripped through the Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub in Goa. It turned into a night of celebration, into a night of scene of unimaginable grief. 25 lives were lost. Families were shattered and a community left reeling. In the chaotic hours that followed, the club's owners Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra vanished. They fled the country on the flight to Phuket, on the Indigo flight to Phuket. Their passports were later cancelled and the Interpol Blue Corner notice was issued. What we also know is that days after they were caught, there was murmurs going on around when will they be deported back to the country. And now sources have confirmed to Republic that it is by latest tomorrow evening that both the Luthra brothers, that is Saurabh Luthra and Gaurav Luthra, will be here in the national capital. They will land via Delhi airport, soon after which they will be taken to the court. The Goa police is going to take custody of the Luthra brothers. Here's all that you need to know about the case.
A deadly nightclub fire in Goa last week left 25 people dead. The owners, Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra, fled the country within hours after the tragedy. Massive blaze ripped through the club in Arpora late at night, but the venue's narrow exits and flammable decor turned it into a death trap. Within hours of the fire, the Luthra brothers booked a flight to Phuket and left the country. Their passports were later cancelled and an Interpol Blue Corner notice was also issued. And now, in a major development in the case, the Luthra brothers are set to be dragged back to India tomorrow. They will be deported from Thailand and will land at Delhi airport tomorrow. The Goa police team is already headed to Delhi to arrest the Luthra brothers. Both brothers will be produced before a Delhi court, where their transit remand will be obtained.
We are getting in the major update and information in this case that they'll be brought back to India tomorrow, and a team of Goa police will fly to Delhi to take their custody after they are arrested by the Goa police respectively. Now, right now, we are standing in this we are standing outside the exact spot wherein this tragic fire incident unfolded. On one hand, we know that more than 6 arrests have been done, including 4 manager level people. On the other hand, Ajay Gupta was the third partner. And one more person in this case have been arrested. On the other hand, 3 government officers are suspended of various departments.
Goa police has also recorded statements of excise department officials in the case. Statements of Panchayat body is also being examined. Substantive details have now come out during the investigation. The Magisterial Inquiry Committee has questioned original landowner Pradeep Khadi Amonkar. The Magisterial Committee has called over 100 people to probe and have recorded statements of over 20 people so far.
A legal team has reached in Thailand to expedite this entire process because the justice is awaited in this entire case. It has become a very, very sensitive issue because Goa is a tourism hotspot, we have to understand, and such lapses can cause a major issue, which already a tragic incident has unfolded. But this has to become an example for the rest of the nightclubs, bars and restaurants if they are operating without the required permissions and checks and balances.
During the investigation, other nightclubs in Goa also came to light. Many were either acquiring land illegally or neglecting safety measures. Authorities in Goa are now taking strong action against them. Illegal structures are being bulldozed and safety negligent clubs are being sealed.
This is a CO2 nightclub cafe. Right now we are standing in front of the same, and I'll ask my video journalist to zoom in to the order. This is sealed and there is a government order saying there's a fire NOC, missing fire NOC right now. We can read those lines: absence, non-functional fire fighting equipment, inadequate or blocked emergency exits, non-compliance with basic fire prevention and life safety measures. So we can see strict action has been taken on several such nightclubs, restaurants and bars in Goa.
Demolition crews have already raised several unauthorized extensions of the club premises. The fire tragedy in Burj by Romeo Lane has forced authorities to take strict action against all those breaking the law and ensure such incidents do not repeat in the future. As we speak, Luthra brothers are in handcuffs and set to be tracked back to India, where they will face the law.
And ladies and gentlemen, when we started this edition of 6 Stories at 6, we told you about how Pakistan terror had bled Australia, where 16 people had lost their lives already. What we also know is that the same terror group was responsible for bleeding Pahalgam, where there were 26 people who lost their lives. In a big development that's taken place today in regard with the Pahalgam terror attack, the NIA, the National Investigation Agency, has named the top Lashkar mastermind behind the Pahalgam attack. And this happened in 232 days after the horrific strike, a deterrent took place. Probe has also delivered a damning charge sheet, the committee, where we learned that there were 3 Pakistani handlers, also local supporters, that together helped Pahalgam terror attack come into force on that fatal morning. What else has the NIA revealed in the charge sheet? Here's a look.
The National Investigation Agency has filed a charge sheet in the deadly Pahalgam terror attack. In only 232 days, the NIA has investigated the case and managed to file charge sheet before the special NIA court. 2012 batch IPS officer Sandeep Chaudhary led the probe of Pahalgam terror attack. 3 Pakistani terrorists are named in the charge sheet, including Lashkar's top commander. Top Lashkar commander Sajid Jat leads the list. Jat is Lashkar's most active commander, 3rd senior most after Hafiz Sayyid. NIA has named Sajid as the main conspirator in the Pahalgam killings that specifically targeted Hindus.
NIA has mentioned his role as one of those conspirators and the one who was behind the execution of this attack. He is the same terrorist Sajid Jat who was behind the civilian killings and is carrying 10 lakh reward by the National Investigating Agency. He is from the Sangamanga area of the Punjab's Kasur of the Pakistan and has been instrumental in also floating the resistance front to give terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir a local color.
Earlier, NIA offered a 10 lakh rupee reward on him in another case. The special NIA court will now begin the trial, and the blood on Pakistan's hands will be exposed before the world once again.
पहले तो मैं बहुत खुश हूँ इस चीज़ से कि इस चीज़ की इतनी स्पीड में पूरी जांचें हुई हैं। पहलगाम आतंकी हमले के बाद इस ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हो या NIA का जो भी कार्रवाई रही है वो बहुत अच्छी और बहुत स्पीड में हुई है, जिससे एक ये सेटिस्फैक्शन हमें मिलता है कि नहीं, अगर हमारे देश में हमारे साथ ऐसा कर रहे हैं, हमारे साथ ऐसा टेररिस्ट अटैक हो रहा है, तो हमारे देश के जो ऊपर बैठे हुए PM हो गए या NIA जितने भी ऑफिसर्स लोग हो गए, वो इस चीज़ की पूरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेते हुए उसमें सही डायरेक्शन में कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं। और दूसरी बड़ी चीज़, ये बहुत ज़्यादा कष्ट की बात है, बहुत दुख की बात है कि उस चार्जशीट में उन लोगों का भी नाम है जो कहीं ना कहीं भारत के हैं।
And well, ladies and gentlemen, with that we come to the end of this edition of 6 Stories at 6. We will be back tomorrow, same time, getting you the 6 agenda-setting stories. Till then, keep watching Republic. Coming up next after the break is Live and Breaking.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आरती और मसाला। Please stop! झुमका, तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
Not there. मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जलजीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जलजीरा जीरा सिप।
In a big win, the Mira Road police have made a breakthrough in their fight against narcotics. A synthetic drugs factory worth a staggering 150 to 200 crore rupees has been busted, and the police are hailing it as one of the biggest operations of its kind. The Mira Road police conducted the raid, uncovering the massive synthetic drugs factory. This operation is being touted as a significant blow to the narcotics trade in the region. This is not an isolated incident, as just 2 days ago, the Mumbai police busted a similar drug factory in Satara, seizing drugs worth 115 crore rupees. The Maharashtra police are leaving no stone unturned in their efforts to curb the narcotics trade in the state. With these latest busts, it's clear that they are making significant progress. Just 24 hours ago, the Mumbai crime branch busted an illegal drug manufacturing unit, seizing 7.5 kilograms of drugs.
Please stop!
झुमका, तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
Not there. मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat.
watching Republic.
Mumbai civic body elections to be held on 15th of Jan, results on 16th of Jan. After Kolkata and Mumbai, Messi now completes his Delhi leg of tour. Lashkar top commander Sajid Jatt named in Pahalgam attack charge sheet. Pakistani father-son duo behind terror attack that claimed 16 lives in Australia.
मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी, आज नहीं तो कल खुदेगी। ये तरीके के नारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सोच और मानसिकता को दर्शाता है। यह अपने आप में बहुत ही निंदनीय है।
Uproar over death threats to Prime Minister during Congress workers' rally in Delhi. BJP raises the issue in Parliament. An encounter broke out between terrorists and security forces in Jofar area of Udhampur. A group of Jaish terrorists have been trapped. 2 to 3 terrorists have been trapped in the forest area of Udhampur. We are getting this breaking news that the encounter in Jammu and Kashmir between security forces and terrorists continues in the Jofar area. A group of terrorists, 2 to 3, have been trapped in Udhampur, in the forested area of Udhampur. To get more details, I'm going to try and go across to my colleague Gursimran joining us live. Gursimran, 2 to 3 terrorists trapped in Udhampur. Our security forces are in that encounter with them. Give us details.
Yes, Rhythm, an encounter broke out between terrorists and the security forces in the upper areas of the Jofar in Udhampur. What we are getting to know that this operation was on for last more than a couple of days, but today evening the contact with the hiding terrorist has been established. This is a group of Jaish-e-Mohammed, we can confirm, and this group is not a new group. This group has been active in the area for a couple of months, but this was actually the opportune time the security forces were looking into, because the terrorists are moving from the upper reaches where the snow has already covered up the area, and terrorists are now looking for some base in the low-lying areas. And based on that intel input and the regular inputs that the forces have been receiving regarding the movement of the terrorists, they launched an operation, and today evening the contact has been established. Having spoken to the senior officials in the Jammu and Kashmir police as well as the Indian Army, we can confirm that 2 to 3 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed have been trapped, and the security forces are ensuring that this time terrorists do not escape. Though this operation is not going to be an easy one, reason being that we are speaking at a time when the sun has already set in. So it is going to be really very challenging to operate in the dense darkness for the security forces, and terrorists, like always, they will try to sneak out from the cordon area. But for now, we can confirm that encounter is underway between the terrorists and security forces in the upper reaches of Jofar in Udhampur district.
Thank you, Gursimran, for giving us those details. We are keeping our fingers crossed for whatever happens there. Now, the Indian Army significantly enhancing its geospatial intelligence capabilities with the introduction of advanced artificial intelligence-based satellite imagery analysis system. This cutting-edge technology was showcased in New Delhi, highlighting how AI is being integrated to rapidly process and interpret high-resolution satellite data. These systems are designed to improve real-time surveillance, terrain assessment, and also strategic decision-making. Officials have said AI-driven platforms will strengthen operational preparedness. They will prove to be faster, more accurate, supporting mission planning and national security objectives. The demonstration underlines the Army's continued focus on adopting advanced technologies to stay ahead in modern and future warfare. Let me go across to Ishan, who's joining us live on the system. Ishan, the Army showcases the AI-based satellite system analysis systems. This is clearly going to be cutting edge. Give us details about how this is going to keep us ahead.
Absolutely. The Indian Army, Indian Navy and Indian Air Force have independently been working on large language models. Now these large language models are being slowly integrated into man-portable devices and devices that showcase large data analytics to the commander and soldier level. Now the current display was one of the IDEX projects that was launched and was successful. Now what does this AI do? This AI takes images, that thousands of images taken by satellite, and analyzes them for differences, patterns and recognizable structures, providing real-time intelligence and real-time updates to our soldiers. These systems have been integrated into the man-portable devices that are being provided to the commanders and the situational leaders in the Indian Army. This progress showcases the coordination amongst the industry and the Indian Army and other reliable sources. Also suggests that this AI technology is being directly integrated into the device and commander level capabilities. This AI technology has revolutionized intelligence gathering and real-time awareness, providing small details as the resolution of the image of the satellites increases. And this has also helped with enhancing images and satellite-based technological details.
I just want you to stay with us as I tell our viewers the Indian Army has also showcased a new generation dual-use aerial vehicle that's designed to significantly enhance operational mobility in challenging environments. This platform, that is named Varuna HVTOL, is a two-man tactical aerial vehicle which will feature advanced mission capabilities and a high-altitude hybrid vertical takeoff and landing system. Now, as complicated as this might sound, viewers, what this is going to do is it's designed for operations in extreme and inaccessible terrain, which will help us. It will support a wide range of military and civilian missions, which will include logistics, surveillance, emergency responses. Ishan, I want to come back to you as this is Rakshita is also joining us on this. Rakshita, the officials have stated the induction of such next generational platforms will play a crucial role in also improving rapid deployment and operational flexibility.
Well, there has been the AI power that has been the center of focus as far as the Indian Defence Forces are concerned, especially as we just saw how it has been displayed all throughout the Operation Sindoor. The use of AI has been center of it all. Drones have been the game changer, all throughout this operation. Not to forget, of course, the missiles and the air defence system and everything in together. But drones, the way they have been used for the first time in a conflict, how when India has been, involved in at such a large scale, that is something that is being highlighted, how technology is being applied, how AI is being applied for defense and for intelligence, most importantly. And these drones we've seen, there are more than 200 startups who are actually now contributing to this entire drone game, the game of drones, so to speak, that is now going on. Now, talking about this dual use, dual use basically means civil and defense use both. So these are vehicles that are used for both the purposes, and this is about the advanced mission capabilities. So such vehicles, these equipments can be working in different kind of terrains, even in difficult terrains and temperature. So that is of course important. So from high altitude to different kind of weather and gravitational force, everything is important when it comes to all types of combat. And this has been now ingested into our arsenal, high altitude hybrid vertical that takes off, and the landing platform has also been displayed, designed to transfer mobility in extreme and inaccessible terrain. So we've seen how technology has shifted warfare. And we've seen right from the Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, to the Chief of Army Staff, General Dwivedi. They've all been very much focused, if you see their recent statements, that how the technology is changing, how warfare is changing. And every country, India especially, in such challenging times when it faces multiple threats, should be modifying its warfare methods day in and day out. It's a process, and we have to be ready for any conflict. And I think that's the message, most importantly, That is the highlight of what is happening today, as this is the eve of the 1971 war. How Pakistani army had surrendered like losers before the country, and India had recorded victory there. But today, when India continues to face threats from Pakistan, India's operational readiness is at the center of it all, which is being now displayed with the videos that are coming in now. Rhythm.
Just stay with us, Rakshita. I also want to tell our viewers and get Ishan in here. The Indian Army has also showcased a significant leap in aerial surveillance capabilities with the display of next-generation drones in the national capital. These are developed under the Made in India initiative. These advanced unmanned systems are designed to meet the demands of future warfare that are offering enhanced endurance and precision surveillance. The showcase reflects the Army's commitment to technological self-reliance. Officials said the induction of these drones will strengthen battlefield awareness. Ishan, I want to ask you the details of this because this will support the Army's ongoing modernization drive.
Absolutely. The army has been focused on drone warfare, and this is the changing landscape that the Indian Army is adapting to. The Indian Army has inducted around 380 Ashni platoons. Now, these Ashni platoons are very significant as these are specific drone-based platoons that have been inducted with almost every brigade of the Indian Army. Now, these platoons use a multitude of drones, all the way from surveillance drones to loitering munitions to ISR drones. All these drones are in a combined manner providing detailed instructions and detailed information to the commanders across the board. Now, this induction of these drones signifies and showcases the varied capabilities of the Indian Army that is being taken into account, because they require a lot of focus and they require a lot of training, and the modernization of the Indian Army requires the induction of these platoons to have the best drones possible. And today we saw the showcasing of a multitude of drones for all the way from surveillance to ISR to loitering munitions showcased in New Delhi today.
Thank you, Ishan. I also want to tell our viewers the Indian Army has showcased Skynet Intel, an advanced drone analysis tool that marks a major boost to counter drone and intelligence capabilities. The system designed to extract and track complete operational data from recovered drones. I want to go across to Rakshita to give us more details, because Army officials, Rakshita, tell us this will successfully be used to retrieve critical data like it has been from a Pakistani drone that was recovered during Operation Sindoor, and will provide very critical intelligence inputs.
Those drones that it's out in front of the world. Pakistan can keep just putting up a sham, but the world knows that Pakistan was behind this attack. And this is another case in point. Just a while back, just a few days ago, we had Songar, one of the Turkish drone companies, who had admitted in a statement, speaking to media, that it was the Pakistanis who actually had faltered when it came to carrying out how to operationalize those drones that were not even meant for the kind of operations that they were deployed for, because they had completely failed. Now, we don't know if the Turkish drones were so bad or it was the Pakistanis. Both things can happen. But yes, the proof is there that they were Turkish drones, A. And B, yes, India successfully could intercept them with such technologies like the Skynet Intel. Now, this Skynet Intel has been used previously by the Border Security Force, the first line of defense for India, that is the BSF, as well, especially along the Punjab border, for just to counter the drug smuggling via drones, which continues till date. So it has been deployed alongside the border earlier as well. It's a digital forensic investigation tool. It's a framework. It is designed for rapid analysis as well, rapid case analysis and in security issues. And it can retrieve even call and message records. So this is an advanced level, a methodology a technology that it deploys. And yes, as we were just seeing in that video, the officer was explaining how the drone had, the Skynet Intel helped India India to decode one of the drones, where it started from, where it was launched from. And very clearly it's mentioned it was from Lahore Air Base. And what we know so far is that it was moving towards Amritsar. It was very successfully shot down. All the drones were shot down. We know about it. We do not, there are people, of course, within the country who still look for proof. But here it is. Everything has been decoded. And all these tools from across the border, all these drones, they have all been destructed. They have been reconstructed and put out on display. Once again, a slap on Pakistan's face to send out a message that we can dare and put it out, and we will cause more and more embarrassment. We will continue with our counter-terrorism efforts, which the country is focusing on. And with this, India sends out a very, very important message to Pakistan yet again, and showcases to the people of the country that India continues this fight against terrorism, right from the technology to our Jawans, along the border. Everything is, the preparations for any sort of conflict are in full swing, and they will be, the expectations of the countrymen will be lived up to the T. This technology is, of course, something that is important. Right from June, in fact, we have seen such exercises have been carried out. Drone tests have been carried out from June itself. We have seen
I just interrupt you to thank you for that, because we've just shown you the army showcasing all the preparedness that they have. This is coming as my next breaking news. Before that, I thank Ishan and Rakshita for having joined us and giving us that elaborate, extensive, prideful show of what lies ahead for us as army is prepared. Viewers, we go into this breaking news and tell our viewers, at the same time, the NI has filed its charge sheet in the Pahalgam terror attack case, where Pakistan-based LET and TRF and 6 other accused have also been mentioned. I have details of that charge sheet with me, as we're going to be reading out that press release of the NI with me, where the NI has named Pakistani handler terrorist Sajid Jatt. He's been named as an accused. It's a 1,597-page charge sheet. It's filed before the NI Special Court in Jammu. I would like to go across to Gursimran. Gursimran, give us details as the NI charge sheet details Pakistan's conspiracy, the role of Pakistan, and the evidence in this case of the banned LET, TRF, and very clearly how they planned the entire Pahalgam attack.
Yes, Rhythm, like we have been reporting since morning, that what NIA will be actually putting before the court, they have done it. All the names that Republic has told its viewers since morning: Sajid Jatt, one of the dreaded commander of Lashkar-e-Toiba and the third top in the seniority of Lashkar leadership. He has been named as one of the key conspirator and the one who actually planned and executed, with being in coordination with 3 Pakistani terrorists that have been killed in Operation Sindoor. That includes Suleiman, that includes the Gibran, and also includes Hamza Afghani. Also 3 other names that have been charge sheeted. Total 7 have been charge sheeted. That include Mohammad Yusuf, Pervez and Bashir Ahmad. They have also been charge sheeted by the National Investigation Agency for waging a war against country, and also being part of the groups that are declared as a terror group under the UAPA by the government of India. So being a part of a terror group, they have also been charged. Apart from that, they have been charged with the murder charges. Arms Ammunition Act has also been invoked by the National Investigation Agency. But this is not going to be the final charge sheet. That, as we have been reporting, there will be supplementary charge sheets that will continue in days to come. But in this charge sheet that is of 1,597 pages, NIA has detailed every single instance that how these terrorists have carried out this brutal act of terror, and how these terrorists, they were helped by the local overground workers, and the Pakistani role, that how they were in touch with Sajid Jatt over the Thoraya, that is satellite communication device. He was passing on to the instructions from the top brass of Lashkar to these terrorists to carry out this brutal act of terror.
Thank you, Gursimran, for giving us those details. That is the most important news that we're going to be tracking. Now, viewers, on December 14, a terror mass shooting took place at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach during a Hanukkah celebration organized, resulting in 16 deaths. Dozens were injured. Australian authorities have identified the 2 gunmen as father-son duo, 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was killed at the scene, and 24-year-old Naveed Akram, both Pakistani nationals residing in Sydney, critically injured, taken into custody, one of them. With the threat of Islamic extremism looming large, Republic has spoken to the Israeli ambassador, who has called out the jihadi elements, and the Australian government has been told that they failed to protect Jews in the wake of rising Islamic terrorism.
Ambassador, I must ask you this because with the Australian authorities now making it clear that the gunmen were of Pakistani origin, Islamic radicalization is back on the spotlight right now, is on Islamic radicalization itself. I want to ask you, where do you really stand on this entire issue, keeping in mind that we're looking at a Pakistani origin gunman, secondly, Islamic State flags being found, and of course, the growing Islamic radicalization, which becomes a massive threat for all countries?
It is actually, like you said, an increasing threat. I think that we can do much more, not only on the intelligence side, to try to undermine these attacks, but also on the public policy. We cannot tolerate anymore people that are raising the flags of the Islamic State and call it free speech. We cannot tolerate anymore people raising Hamas flags and calling it free speech. We cannot tolerate the term globalized intifada, because everybody in the jihadi world knows what that means. That means kill Jews. So we have to, I think, change the approach on how hate speech is being expressed, especially in Western countries, because the jihadists are actually exploiting the fact, exploiting our values in order to expand their ideology, which proves itself time and again to be very, very detrimental to the lives of innocent people, to the existence of minorities, and to peace in general.
Ambassador, are you suggesting that Israeli intelligence agencies had already warned their counterparts in Australia of a possible attack against the Jewish community in Australia? Because it appears from the way the Israeli foreign minister has made the statement, it is quite clear that the intelligence agencies were on a high alert and they were suspecting that such an attack could take place.
Well, there is a pattern in the last 2 years by which different state agencies, including the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps, are using criminal elements around the world in order to attack Jewish communities and Israeli assets. So we know that has been a rise in the threat. Unfortunately, what we haven't had is enough understanding from the part of the Australian government. What are the implications of refraining with dealing with hate speech and anti-Semitic attacks from the sort that we've seen? And I think more robust measures.
Did your government warn? Did your government warn the Australians that this could happen?
Well, look, I cannot comment on specific intelligence issues. I think that we have a combination here of an increasing trend that we've seen very clearly, a status of alert from the side of our intelligence agencies in their conversations with their counterparts. And in some cases, we've seen government acting more robustly to defend Jewish communities, because we've been seeing more attacks against Jewish communities in different places around the world. And this demands a much more robust response from the government and security forces everywhere.
As he was saying, December 14, the terrorist mass shooting occurred at Sydney's iconic Bondi Beach during the Hanukkah celebration. 16 were killed, dozens were left injured. Australian authorities identified the two gunmen as father-son duo. 50-year-old Sajid Akram, he was killed at the scene. 24-year-old Navid Akram, Pakistani national residing in Sydney, taken into custody. Reports indicated Naveen had prior scrutiny from security agencies, including a 2019 ASIO investigation linked to extremist ties, and Islamic State flags were found in their vehicle. The attack, declared an act of targeting the Jewish community, has prompted widespread condemnation of terrorism.
A Pakistani link has now been exposed in the Sydney terror attack. Australian authorities identified the two gunmen as a father and son duo. 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was killed at the scene, and 24-year-old Naveed Akram, a Pakistani national residing in Sydney, taken into custody. Authorities say Sajid Akram legally owned 6 firearms, all registered to a recreational gun club he belonged to. He arrived in Australia on a student visa in 1998, switched to a partner visa in 2001, and later obtained a resident return visa, which he held until his death. His son, Naveed, was born in Sydney in 2001 and is an Australian citizen. In the hours after the shooting, police executed search warrants at 2 locations linked to the Akrams. The first, a short-term rental in Campsie, yielded a cache of ammunition and a vehicle bearing Islamic State flags. The second, the family home in Bonnerick, resulted in 2 arrests and the seizure of firearms, including the weapons used in the attack. In some more big revelations, investigators said that Naveed Akram had come under scrutiny before. A 2019 ASIO investigation examined his possible extremist ties, though no charges were ever filed. The discovery of IS flags in the vehicle has led authorities to treat the incident as a terrorist act, targeting the Jewish community. The attack has drawn condemnation from leaders across the globe. The United Nations Secretary General called it a heinous act of terror, while the United States, United Kingdom, and Israel issued statements of solidarity with Australia and the Jewish community. Meanwhile, as investigations continue, a memorial service is planned for tomorrow evening at Bondi Beach, followed by a national day of mourning declared for later this week.
And coming up after a short break, Lashkar top commander Sajid Jat is named in Pahalgam attack charge sheet. And our top focus on this is exclusive with my colleague Shavan Sen. Pakistani father-son duo behind the terror attack that claimed 17 lives. This was a gathering that turned into a massacre as agencies probe the overseas terror footprint in the Bondi attack.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल और जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
Please stop!
झुमका तेरा झुमका तेरा झुमका।
Not there. मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा। सबका राजा और मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Sydney. What are the possible reasons of it? And which is that one country that is obviously always responsible for these kind of attacks that are essentially taking place? And why exactly is the West really overlooking the role that is essentially played by a fundamentalist nation? Tonight, we are going to reveal the Pakistani link that has basically emerged in the attacks that have taken place in Sydney. And also the top voices coming in from Israel. Why exactly is Israel really blaming the Australian authorities as far as the attack that took place in Sydney? Were warnings not paid much heed? These are some of the aspects that we're going to touch upon over the next couple of minutes. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. It's Australia's Pahalgam moment. Bystanders describe the 10-minute massacre against Jews at Sydney's Bondi Beach. Pakistani link emerges to the terrorist father-son duo that accused were radicalized by ISIS before the Bondi attack. Israeli envoy speaks to Republic on Sydney attack, calls out Albany's government over the failure to protect Jews. Major boost for Indian Army's enhances its capability when it comes to geospatial intelligence capabilities with next generation AI satellite imagery systems. Ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, what we essentially witnessed should have been a moment of prayer, light and quiet reflection on the first day of Hanukkah. Instead, what descended into terror on one of Australia's most recognizable shores. Bondi Beach bears the weight of grief after a targeted mass shooting that has left an entire nation shaken. After how the Jewish community was essentially targeted. More than 24 hours later, the investigators have begun piecing together what's disturbing details that point far beyond Australia's borders. An alleged ISIS link that has emerged, a radicalized father-son duo, and emerging questions about foreign terror networks. And of course, the missed warnings signs. Authorities now have essentially confirmed that the attacker was actually known, and they were known to the police also, radicalized for years. In fact, the missing pieces in the investigation basically points towards the Islamic terrorism, the footprint of which are global, but may have also missed the alarm bells in Australia. The full story so far, and then we are going to put the focus on the links that have essentially emerged so far. And for the first time on Indian television, the man who actually nabbed one of the gunmen along with a few others. In fact, it was because of the locals who were present there that at least one of the gunmen was actually stopped from continuing to fire on others. Take a look at this report.
A somber afternoon in Sydney. Thousands gathered to pay tributes to the victims of the Bondi Beach massacre. "24 hours after the deadly attack at Bondi Beach on the 1st of Hanukkah, Pakistan link has emerged to the terrorist father-son duo, Sajid and Naveed Akram. It has been confirmed that shooter Naveed Akram is originally from Lahore in Pakistan. Australian investigative agencies are also probing the possible role of Pakistan-based terror groups behind the planning of the shooting. The father-son shooter duo had joined ISIS before the attack. Naveed Akram was known to the local police and had been on a watch list since 2019 due to his suspected allegiance to the Islamic State terrorist group.
There's several investigations underway at the moment. I spoke this morning. The Joint Counter-Terrorism investigation will be led by our Counter-Terrorism Command with our Commonwealth agencies. At the same time, there is a critical incident investigation because we know that police fired a number of shots which resulted in the death of a person and also the injury to a second offender. So there are a range of investigations underway at the moment.
The latest information also revealed that before orchestrating the mass shooting at Bondi Beach, both shooters spent a month in Philippines. As per sources, the duo had visited the Southeast Asian country together without any other family members. Both returned to Australia just weeks before they opened fire on a Jewish gathering. The tentacles of Islamic extremism undeniable, and the latest victims, a group of Jews.
The two gunmen who killed 15 people at Bondi Beach in Sydney on Sunday evening has been identified as Sajid Akram, 50, and Naveed Akram, 24. And now the police have also confirmed that the two attackers were a father and a son duo. The older man died on the spot while the son is in a critical condition.
The mass shooting at Bondi Beach has shaken communities worldwide.
Before we begin, however, I want to just pay my respects to the people. Unfortunately, 2 are no longer with us. Brown University, 9 injured, and 2 are looking down on us right now from heaven. And likewise in Australia, as you know, that was a terrible attack, 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody.
And at the helm of this is Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who has been accused of failing to protect the Jews.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of terror, an act of anti-Semitism, an attack on the first day of Hanukkah targeted at the Jewish community. A dark day in Australia's history on what should have been a day of light.
And that reforms in gun laws is not enough.
כתבתי לפני 4 חודשים מכתב לראש ממשלת אוסטרליה. אמרתי לו, המדיניות שלך מעודדת טרור, היא מעודדת אנטישמיות. אתה קורא למדינה פלסטינית ואתה נותן בעצם פרס לחמאס על הטבח הנורא שהם ביצעו בנו ב7 באוקטובר. אני לא שוכח.
It is the rising global threat of Islamic terrorism.
Well, in fact, Republic is the only channel to bring you a first-hand account. Hear it from the man who took on one of the shooters at Bondi Beach. From just 20 meters away, he witnessed the terror firsthand. Jacob Barnfield describes a prolonged shootout, police engaging the attackers as they tried to flee for cover. And the moment one of the gunmen was held down after being shot while attempting to re-enter the premises. Now, this testimony that offers a raw, ground-level view of the violence. What really transpired within those 10 minutes? And important to point out, the significance of this very place that was basically chosen by the gunman. It clearly goes on to indicate that this was pre-planned. All of it, which I'm going to put out in a short while from now, but for the first time, listening to the man who prevented the gunman to move further. On Sunday, a deadly terrorist attack took place when several people had gathered at the famous Bondi Beach in Sydney. Suddenly, there were gunshots that were being heard, but there are 2 stories that basically emerged thereafter. The heroic act of eyewitnesses there, locals who managed to get hold of the gunman. Jacob Barnfield is joining us on this broadcast. In fact, Jacob was the person who stomped on the terrorist's head the moment he saw the gunman. Thank you very much, Jacob, for joining us on this broadcast. I want to ask you what really happened on Sunday when you were present there at the Bondi Beach, and how did you really respond to the first shots of gunfire?
Well, I actually went down to the beach after finishing work on Sunday, finished a bit late, so I decided to go get in the beach, go for a swim. After getting out of the water, I went and sat down for about a few minutes to dry off. In that time, I started hearing gunshots coming from the main beach area, which is called the Promenade. In the Promenade, they had this Jewish festival there for the first day of Hanukkah. So as the gunshots started getting louder, at first I thought they were fireworks, but then you seen a lot of women and children and men screaming and running in different directions and just trying to get away from all of the gunshots. When I seen all the people running away and all the noise and commotion, I started running closer towards the gunshots to get a closer look and see what was going on. As I got closer towards the Hanukkah festival, I realised there was a few people on the floor with gunshot or gun wounds, bleeding out. And that's when I realised it was quite serious. So once I seen the people on the floor, I started to weave my way through cars that were parked to get closer while still trying to take cover because the gunman was still firing off shots for a good 5 to 10 minute period. It didn't stop. I got to about probably between 40 and 50 metres close to the gunman while he was still firing shots. At that point, one of the other guys there, he took the gun off one of the shooters. He actually also got shot twice before taking the gun or after taking the gun. He got shot by the other gunman. After he was shot, he was hiding behind a tree so he wouldn't get shot any further. And after that, both the gunmen were standing on top of a bridge in Bondi and in the car park. While they were standing on the bridge, the police officers were returning shots to them, which they shot both the gunmen. Once both the gunmen were shot, they took cover. They were laying down on the bridge, so they couldn't get furtherly shot. After that, that's when a few people, civilians, rushed onto the bridge, as well as police officers, and everyone was kind of jumping on top of the gunmen, trying to hold them down. People were throwing kicks into their heads, and everyone was very emotional, very scary, very angry.
You were barely 40 meters away from the gunman. That's when the first time you saw him.
That's when I first seen him. I could see him from 40 meters away, but when I first heard the shots, I was probably about 200 meters away.
So the moment you reached there, there were a number of people who were there, who were present. You all did manage to take charge of the situation, took him into custody. What was it that he had to say? Because it seems there have been multiple reports coming out the moment he saw what he was saying, attacking the Jews. When you came up close to the gunman, did he say anything?
No, he wasn't saying anything to anyone. See, the police officers and two other people were the first ones to hold him down, and then I came in after to help and hold them down as well. They weren't saying a word. They didn't say anything. They were just making some groaning noises because they were in pain from the bullet wounds, but they did not say a word. One of them actually died. One of the shooters died, the father, because it was a father and a son.
Right. Could you also help us understand, because there were a number of people present at the beach, and of course it's summertime there, so you would have expected a lot more people to be present there and part of the Hanukkah festivals that was ongoing. What really happened when the first gunshot was fired, and thereafter was it a continuous gunfiring that was actually taking place, which is an indication that perhaps he was armed to the teeth?
Yeah, so after the first gunshot, a lot of people were quite confused because you don't really see this in Australia at all. You never see gun violence whatsoever. We've got very strict gun laws in Australia. We've had very strict gun laws for the past 20 to 30 years. So once the first shot went off, people probably just assumed it was fireworks, but it wasn't until they kept continuously firing, and then you heard multiple gunshots overlapping each other from two gunmen. That's when people realised, oh, wow, like that sounds like gunshots. But then when you seen all the people running away from that area and screaming, that's when it was confirmed. Everyone knew straight away that something was wrong, and there was guns being fired.
You say that it was a bit of a dog shot and you don't regret it at all.
Correct, yes. As I was approaching him to get to the bridge, I was looking at dead and people fighting for their lives, dead women and children, men. There was on the side of the road bleeding out. Like, the amount of people I saw in pain, or if not dead yet, it just builds up so much anger and emotion in your body, especially in a country where you don't see this very often. And being in a place like Bondi is a very safe part of the city in Sydney. One of the safest beaches you could possibly be at. A very close-knit community. Everybody supports each other there. There's never violence in Bondi. So to see that happen to people in the community, it's heartbreaking.
I want to, perhaps take that one final question, because you and several other people who were there stomped Naveed, and in fact, no one really regretted, rightfully so. But what is it that they all had to say? Was there a moment when Naveed was trying to save his father?
So when his father, I didn't see it directly because I was standing behind a barrier, but I did see a video of his father getting shot first, and then the son then tried to go over to his father, but that's when he got shot, when he was returning fire towards the police.
Right. Thank you very much, Jacob, for joining us. Undoubtedly, this is a difficult moment for everyone there in Sydney, and we all stand together in these difficult times. But it's the courage that you all have mustered to take this on head on. Well, in fact, what is the Pakistani link that I was essentially talking about right at the beginning of the program? This is about Naveed and the other gunman, the father-son duo, who are of Pakistani origin. And in fact, it seems that the Pakistan link was something that was highlighted in the past too, the possibility of an attack taking place with the Pakistani hand here. In fact, what we're going to do right now, I'm going to take you through the exact location where this has happened. This happens to be one of the most popular beaches in Sydney. In fact, what you see right now, can I just hold on, please? What you see right now on your screens, this is the very place where we are being told that the bridge that you see, that's the position that was actually taken by the gunman who had parked the car. Can we move on to the second point here? If you see the exact movement that has essentially taken place from the parking lot itself. The second point here, this very point, after parking the car, the second point, the gunman opens fire on the bridge. So the moment people were basically coming in, that's the second point. The third is one gunman proceeds towards the lawn. So here you have one of them coming from here, directly going towards the lawn, and that's when we are being told that they opened fire. He opens fire again before being disarmed by a civilian. So that's where you just heard a short while back what really happened when Jacob was saying that people had come in and they had prevented him from going further. Gunman retreats to the bridge. That's exactly what has happened thereafter, the moment civilians did actually manage to catch hold of him. The sixth point I want to just show you, these are the 6 points that we've been able to put together of the movement itself. That's how it all started. These are the 5 points. And the 6th point here, he's shot dead by the police. Second gunman is arrested. So it is basically happening within this particular perimeter, just close towards the beach, where the firing actually takes place from here, goes towards the other location, where that's when the civilians did actually muster the courage to stop him, to prevent him from going further and perhaps causing more damage. Now, this is the very place where the shooting took place, resulting in over 24 of people losing their lives. In fact, what's the Pakistani link? Australian intelligence agencies had already warned of evolving terror threats long before the Bondi Beach massacre. Australian Security Intelligence Organization's 2024 annual threat assessment highlighted a troubling trend in which radicalized Australians traveled to countries such as Pakistan and Afghanistan to receive training with extremist groups. and many who were returned were later involved in the extremist activity as on the home soil. ASIO's publicly released assessment noted that in previous decades it had tracked Australians travelling to Pakistan for terror training and also flagged such movement as a serious security concern. In fact, multiple accounts that have essentially come in basically indicates that at least Navid, the son here, was actually taking some sort of a training. In fact, he was going to a particular school in Australia, which again seems to have now come under the scanner. Now, as per this particular report, which has now been made public, it's an Australian Intel report, and we are quoting from there, where they are saying that in the 1990s and 2000s, we began tracking a concerning trend, I beg your pardon, where radicalized Australians were basically traveling. They were traveling to Afghanistan and Pakistan to train with terrorist groups. Of the 25 who have actually returned to, let's move on to the other point, to Australia, 19 were actively involved in extremist activity and 8 were convicted of terrorism. It goes on to say that in the next point, can we go to the next point here? In the 1990s and 2000s, we began tracking a concerning trend. Now, what they're essentially saying, I'll just quickly recap here. They're making this point of the fact that there is a trend. The very fact that most of them actually were traveling to Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, this goes back to 2000s. But now also, from what the Israelis seem to have been hinting towards, that there have been a rise in anti-Semitism activities, and it has been largely witnessed, and the fact that the Australians have already been warned about it. Despite that, not much has been really done by the authorities. And they're saying not just Australia, but there are various other Western nations. And in fact, they are the ones who are basically misusing all of this and misusing the Western values, as the Israelis are now pointing out, and taking full advantage of it. Now, with the threat of Islamic extremism, which is basically looming, Republic, in fact, spoke to the Israeli ambassador, who calls out the Australian government for failing to protect the Jews in the wake of rising terrorism. In fact, the reason why we see there has been massive war of words taking place between the Australian authorities and the Israelis. Why exactly are the Israelis really blaming the Australians? Listen in to what Israeli ambassador to India, Reuven Azar, had to tell me a short while back. Ambassador, I must ask you this because with the Australian authorities now making it clear that the gunmen were of Pakistani origin, Islamic radicalization is back on the spotlight right now, is on Islamic radicalization itself. I want to ask you, where do you really stand on this entire issue, keeping in mind that we're looking at a Pakistani origin gunman, secondly, Islamic State flags being found, and of course, the growing Islamic radicalization, which becomes a massive threat for all countries?
It is actually, like you said, an increasing threat. I think that we can do much more, not only on the intelligence side, to try to undermine these attacks, but also on the public policy. We cannot tolerate anymore people that are raising the flags of the Islamic State and call it free speech. We cannot tolerate anymore people raising Hamas flags and calling it free speech. We cannot tolerate the term globalized intifada, because everybody in the jihadi world knows what that means. That means kill Jews. So we have to, I think, change the approach on how hate speech is being expressed, especially in Western countries, because the jihadists are actually exploiting the fact, exploiting our values in order to expand their ideology, which proves itself time and again to be very, very detrimental to the lives of innocent people, to the existence of minorities, and to peace in general.
Ambassador, are you suggesting that Israeli intelligence agencies had already warned their counterparts in Australia of a possible attack against the Jewish community in Australia? Because it appears from the way the Israeli foreign minister has made the statement, it is quite clear that the intelligence agencies were on a high alert and they were suspecting that such an attack could take place?
Well, there is a pattern in the last 2 years by which different state agencies, including the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps, are using criminal elements around the world in order to attack Jewish communities and Israeli assets. So we know that has been a rise in the threat. Unfortunately, what we haven't had is enough understanding from the part of the Australian government. What are the implications of refraining with dealing with hate speech and anti-Semitic attacks from the sort that we've seen? And I think more robust measures.
Did your government warn? Did your government warn the Australians that this could happen?
Well, look, I cannot comment on specific intelligence issues. I think that we have a combination here of an increasing trend that we've seen very clearly, a status of alert from the side of our intelligence agencies in their conversations with their counterparts. And in some cases, we've seen government acting more robustly to defend Jewish communities, because we've been seeing more attacks against Jewish communities in different places around the world. And this demands a much more robust response from the governments and security forces everywhere.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshit.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला।
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
I thought that we were very close with Russia to having a deal. I thought we were very close with Ukraine.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good evening, viewers. We're all set for the biggest trending stories of the day for the next 25 minutes. The biggest story is from the world of sports today as India lifts the Squash World Cup for the very first time. And we will get you the exclusive conversation with Squash team member, the one who sealed India's victory, teenage sensation Arnab Singh on Republic TV. Meanwhile, Donald Trump finds his place in the viral stories yet again. This time, he went completely off the script during a speech as he spotted someone who he found to be Ivanka, his daughter's lookalike. We bring you how Lionel Messi mania unfolded in the national capital as the football legend ended his India tour. All this and much more on Trending Tonight with me, Rakshita. After bagging the bronze in previous edition 2 years ago, India climbed 2 steps up this Sunday, toppling top seeds Hong Kong 3-0. India claimed their maiden Squash World Cup in front of a lively gathering at the Express Avenue Mall. And on Sunday, it was veteran Joshna Chinnappa, 79 in the PSA rankings, giving India the perfect start as she stunned world number 37, Lee Ka-yi, with the 3-1 in the opening singles rubber. Asian Games medalist Abhay Singh, meanwhile, who is India's best-ranked men's singles player at world number 29, followed up perfectly as he did not drop a beat and outplayed the 42nd ranked Alex Lau with the 3-0 in 19 minutes to give India a 2-0 lead. Playing to seal off a win and take the historic title home, the 17-year-old Arnab Singh stepped up and handled the pressure spectacularly. Now, up against world number 31, Tomato Ho, the India squash player ranked 28th, Arnab we're talking about, was clinical as she picked up a 3-0 win in the third rubber. In fact, we spoke just a while back to a 17-year-old Arnab Singh on a spectacular victory, on the team's victory, and how was it like, performing in front of the home crowd and being congratulated from the Prime Minister himself. All this in this exclusive conversation. Take a listen in. Thank you so much and many congratulations, Arnab. You really finished the job. You really sealed the victory for India in this World Cup. How was that feeling when India were in fact, officially you just did the job and India won the title?
I think it was a really great feeling just coming into the event. For me personally, it was my first time playing this, so I was super excited to get going and just play in front of such an amazing crowd in my home country. And as a team, we were just trying to take it one step at a time and make sure that we win every match and that we're able to play our best games. And I think just taking it step by step really worked to our advantage, and we ended up winning the event and altogether.
And how was the situation, when you were, in that final stage, with that victory? There must be some pressure, some nerves. Did you, first of all, feel any nerves? Did you feel the pressure? And if at all you did, how did you handle it?
I think in the final specifically, I didn't really feel much pressure at all since I was the third person playing in the team, and Joshna and Abhay had already won their matches before me. So I think just going into court, I knew that we were leading in the match and that we had a really good chance of winning, and that I was just going into the court to close the match and make sure that we're able to get the win on our side. And yeah, I just went in to play as best as I could and make sure that we get the win for the country.
And as you just mentioned about the crowd, how was it? Because squash is just picking up, as a sport in this country. So, how was the atmosphere before a home crowd?
I think the crowd was amazing this tournament. I've never seen anything like this. I've traveled quite a lot for events, and seeing such a big crowd is not something that you always get. And getting to play in a mall where there's so many people around and they're all supporting you since it's happening in India, I think it's just something that really pushes you, especially in the big points and in the big matches when you're not too confident. Just looking out of the court and being able to see that there's so many people on your side just really pushes you to do better.
And you've been bringing laurels to the country ever since you're 15. You've been the youngest member of the Commonwealth Games squad in 2022. You've also part of the medal-winning team in Asian Games 2023. You are the next big thing in squash, and I would say now with this victory, you're already the big thing. How do you feel, about squash in the country? You feel that there are many opportunities opening up now for other people also, for youngsters coming in?
I think it's definitely improved a lot, at least since I started playing, or even the last couple of years. It's improved a huge amount, and even now that squash has been included in the Olympics last year, I think that's made a huge difference as well, since so many people have seen that there's a new sport that's coming up and they want to see what it's like and just get to know more about it. And I think that's really helped boost the popularity of squash in the last couple of years as well.
For the LA Olympics 2028, now that squash will be there, it has been included. So what are the preparations like? Because, all eyes will be on you, Anahat. You are the medal hope for India.
Yes, I think there's still a couple of years left for that. So I'm trying to take it step by step and look at my smaller goals along the way as well. And I'm focusing a bit more on my ranking, since the squads for the Olympics are going to be really small. There's not going to be many people that will be playing the event. And I'm just trying to make sure that I'm playing 100% of what I should be at that time and have my chances of making it to the team and hopefully getting a medal as well.
Right, you're very young, Anahat, and how did you really choose the sport of squash? Was there any inspiration? But how did your romance with squash really start?
I actually started off playing badminton at quite a young age of, I think, 5 or 6 years old. And as we know, badminton is a huge sport in India. So I went into quite the contrast. And my elder sister, Amira, used to play squash at the time. And I just went with her for a couple of tournaments and practice sessions. And I really enjoyed playing sports in general. And I think over a period of time, my parents just started taking both of us for the same tournaments, and it made it easier for them. And I just started enjoying playing squash a lot more.
Right. So who do you look up to today when it comes to squash? You have any icon, you have any idol, or anyone who you take inspiration from, or any other, sports person?
I'd say all my seniors like Joshna, Saurav, and Deepika, I've seen them play from watching them on TV to actually being a part of the same team with them. And I think just having people like that who achieved so much in their sport, and there's so much for me to learn from them, and getting to travel with them and seeing what they're like on court, off court, and just getting to learn from them is something that I'm really grateful for.
How do you really balance this, your life with the sports, with your training, and you're a teenager, so I'm sure that you want your own me time as well with your friends, or for maybe studies or any other thing. So how do you really go about that?
Yeah, so I do have school. So when I'm in town, a lot of my day just goes by when I'm in school the first half. But besides that, I don't spend too much time training. I only spend like a couple of hours in a day because, yeah, that's just how it's always been for me. And whenever I get the time, something to unwind is I love spending time with my family and friends. So whenever I do get the time and I'm in Delhi, I try to make full use of that because it's just something that really helps me unwind if I'm stressed out or overwhelmed.
And what is your next target?
I think majorly my next target would be Asian Games, which is coming up in 6 months.
Yeah.
So I think everything right now is just leading up to that and making sure that I'm able to get medals for the country, and along the way just try to get my world ranking up as high as possible as well.
Absolutely. And how was the feeling when you read the Prime Minister's, post congratulating the team? That kind of recognition that you're getting. How was that feeling with amongst the entire team?
I think it was a great feeling. We all saw the post together. We were sitting together, and one of us opened our phone, and we were just discussing it. And I think it's so amazing having his support and having just something like this that helps out our squash as a sport as well, and it's getting so much more popularity. And I think that's something that all four of us, when we opened it, we were so grateful and so happy that they were able to get this support.
Well, actually, it's very well deserved, the recognition and the praises that are being showered upon you all. Thank you so much, and many congratulations once again, Nahat, from our side. And we wish you all the very best for your next target, that is the Asian Games. And we hope to speak to you soon when you clinch that medal at the Games.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Next trending story. US President Donald Trump is yet again at the center of a viral moment. During a public appearance, Trump abruptly paused his speech to point out a woman in the audience, telling her that she looked like his daughter Ivanka. Now, off-script remark instantly grabbed attention, triggering laughter at the venue and rapid circulation online. The moment, caught on camera, has since gone viral, adding to the long list of Trump's unscripted comments that often overshadow the event itself.
Interesting story. Boy, do you look like Ivanka. Has anyone ever told you that? I'm saying, is that Ivanka? Could you just turn around for the camera? Does she look like Ivanka? It's the most unbelievable thing. So I didn't want to take a chance. I say, is that Ivanka? You look just like Ivanka, which is a great compliment.
Well, it wasn't just the Ivanka lookalike moment making headlines. Trump used the same platform to repeat his long-standing claim that Democrats rigged the 2020 presidential election. Trump says that truckloads of evidence is about to come out proving the 2020 election was stolen. An allegation repeatedly dismissed by courts and election officials. Take a listen.
They're good at cheating in elections, very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating. Because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you'll see it come out. It's coming out in truckloads.
And adding to the social media buzz is another clip that shows Dan Scavino's wife, the assistant to the US president, thanking Trump with a namaste greeting inside the White House. There you have it. A gesture quickly sparking discussion online, especially among the Indian and global audiences, of course.
I don't know. Scavino's great, but without that big power, do you think that she would have been interested in him? James, I don't know. I think the power is the thing that did it, right?
And it's a charming person.
He's a great guy. You got a great guy, the best.
And he looks great these days.
He's a handsome guy, right? Look at her. She's defending him. Thank you. Aaron, thank you very much. Thank you, darling. Great job.
And Trump is also drawing criticism for two sharply contrasting remarks now circulating online. On one hand, Trump dismisses concerns about affordability, calling it a democratic hoax. Trump speaks at length about a massive triumphal Arc de Trump as it's being touted, that is being planned near the Arlington Cemetery, comparing it to Paris's Arc de Triomphe and insisting that the American version would just blow it away in every way. So he describes the monument as historic, symbolic, and larger than life. That contrast is sharp and has not gone unnoticed.
When you talk about affordability, is going forward, are the American people, do you believe, getting impatient with the reforms that you're making? They've talked about it's about.
I think they're getting fake news from guys like you. Look, affordability is a hoax that was started by Democrats who caused the problem of pricing. And they didn't end it when, look, they lost in a landslide. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote. We won everything.
I put Vince in charge of the triumphal arc. We're building an arc like the Arc de Triomphe. And we're building it by the Arlington Bridge, the Arlington Cemetery, opposite the Lincoln Memorial. You could say Jefferson, Washington, everything, because they're all right there. And it's something that is so special. It will be like the one in Paris, but to be honest with you, it blows it away in every way.
And online critics are calling him out for championing a grand, expensive monument while brushing off everyday cost of living pressures faced by Americans. Social media reactions have been biting and sarcastic. One user quipped, "Thank you, baby Jesus, we're finally getting an arch that will help Americans with their medical bills, food, housing," punctuating it with the comment with an eye roll emoji. Another social media user dismissed the proposal even more bluntly, calling it an exercise in self-gratification. I would call it self-glorification, perhaps, was being touted as the archetype Trump. And now a quick check of the trends that are running hot today on social media. It was 2:50 in the noon when the legend stepped in the national capital today. We're talking about Lionel Messi. New Delhi finally got a glimpse of football icon at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, marking one of the most talked about moments of his India tour. And the final leg, of course, the national capital was buzzing with excitement, fans turning out in large numbers for the first public appearance of Messi in the national capital. Messi reached the Arun Jaitley Stadium and the excitement among fans was palpable. Joining him were fellow Argentine stars Rodrigo de Paul and Luis Suarez, adding to the thrill of the moment. The football legends greeted the players on the field, shaking hands, exchanging smiles, sending the crowd into a frenzy. Fans cheered, waved flags and captured every moment on their phones as the atmosphere turned electric. Messi even played with 30 young players from Minerva Academy at the Arun Jaitley Stadium ahead of the celebrity match stage ceremony marking the tour's finale. He interacted closely with youngsters, guiding them through drills, exchanging smiles and sharing the experience firsthand, turning the session into a memorable moment for everyone involved. Jai Shah presented Messi with a special Team India number 10 jersey, marking a symbolic moment during the football icon's visit. This is as Messi was wrapping up the final leg of his GOAT tour, bringing the curtains down on a trip that blended football, fanfare, celebration. Now, as per reports, it was $1 million for a handshake. Meeting the football legend, Messi does not come cheap. The 10 lakh package also includes a closed-door meet and greet, along with a handshake, of course. Messi's Delhi visit also featured interactions with the Chief Justice of India, several parliamentarians, and a few sporting heroes, including cricketers, Olympic and Paralympic medal winners. IPL mega auction kicks off tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. with 237 crore 55 lakh rupees in play for 77 players in pool. Punjab team enters the biggest purse. Chennai closed behind at 43.40 crore rupees. Season 1 finale of Welcome to Derry has confirmed a key link to the IT films. The episode reveals the Marg as the mother of Richie Tozier with a post-credit scene featuring Beverly Marsh. With these scenes, creators have confirmed a 3-season arc with past timelines next on the cards. Paris has cancelled its Christmas and New Year celebrations. The decision has been taken amid fears of possible terror attacks. Now, with the security tightened at the Christmas markets across the city, authorities say that the move is aimed at ensuring public safety. This comes right after the attack at the Bondi Beach, also in Australia. Actor Priyanka Chopra has dropped some heartwarming family photo dump on Instagram, from Nick Jonas' sweet kiss to daughter Malti's dentist visit. Moments have gone viral, receiving wide attention online. Actress captions it as a joyful time back home. After winning seats in the Kerala local body polls, BJP workers were seen cleaning the streets. The cleanup was carried out soon after the victory celebrations ended. Visuals from the area have gone viral on social media, and the party has termed it as an act of civil responsibility.
India captured Ajmal Kasab during 26/11. Australia has 24-year-old Naveed Akram in custody. Is there a Pakistan link to the Sydney terror attack? Arnab's debate at 8 p.m.
And with that, let's take a quick look at the trends that are right now running very, very fast on social media and breaking the internet today. As Dhurandhar continues its strong box office run, Ranveer Singh has shared a cryptic social media note, sparking curiosity among fans. Now, the post comes amid the film's commercial triumph, adding intrigue to the celebration. South Africa's Simon Harmer and India's Shafali Verma have been named ICC Players of the Month for November 2025. Harmer's 17 wickets powered a historic Test series sweep in India, while Shafali starred in the World Cup final to seal India's maiden title. As police investigate the apparent homicide of filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, sources claim their son Nick may be linked to the deaths. The couple was found dead inside their Los Angeles home. LAPD says, the police department of Los Angeles says that no arrests have been made so far. No suspect is being actively sought at this stage. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi blamed vote chori for increasing pollution, a clip that's going viral, expanding the list of alleged causes beyond vehicles, industries, stubble burning.
ये सारा का सारा इसीलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि ये वोट चोरी कर रहे हैं। ये पोल्यूशन देखिए, ये सारा का सारा इसीलिए हो रहा है क्योंकि ये वोट चोरी कर रहे हैं।
Mass shooting at Bondi Beach on Sunday, which left at least 12 people dead and dozens injured, has sparked global attention, both for tragedy and the striking front page of an Australian newspaper, which carried an expletive headline, or a headline loaded with expletives with the strapline saying, "Evil on our shore," stirring the social media reactions. How the West covers when there is a dastardly attack carried out on its soil, as opposed to when it happens in the other part of the world. And today, Indian Army showcased a captured Pakistani military drone of Turkish origin brought down by the Indian forces on the 10th of May during Operation Sindoor. The drone took off from Lahore and was headed to an army installation in Punjab. Visuals we're going to run on your screens. And with that, viewers, we will also be closing this bulletin with a glimpse into how the Indian Army is commemorating the Vijay Divas, India's most decisive military victories, as on the 16th of December 1971, the Indian Armed Forces achieved a historic triumph over Pakistan in the war, and that led to the surrender of Pakistani forces and the birth of Bangladesh. With just one day to go now, the nation remembers the courage, the sacrifice and the professionalism of the Indian Army, the Navy and the Air Force, the joint operations that secured this landmark victory and reshaped India's history, the entire region's, South Asia's history.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho Befikar.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
झुमका तेरा झुमका तेरा झुमका
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च। आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
From abusing his mother at a rally to chanting death to the Prime Minister. Can Congress distance itself from the death for Prime Minister slogans? The day's biggest political controversy, debating tonight at 9 p.m. Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
मुस्कुराए लड़खड़ाए जिंदगी, चाहे जो भी हो।
सर, पेशेंट के लिए कौन सा रूम प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
जिंदगी भर के प्यार का कोई रेट कार्ड नहीं होता। टाटा AIG हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, विद यू लाइक फैमिली, विद यू ऑलवेज।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
झुमका, तेरा झुमका, तेरा झुमका।
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका।
मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद।
India captured Ajmal Kasab during 26/11. Australia has 24-year-old Naveed Akram in custody. Is there a Pakistan link to the Sydney terror attack? Arnab's debate at 8 p.m. From abusing his mother at a rally to chanting death to the Prime Minister. Can Congress distance itself from the death for Prime Minister slogans? The day's biggest political controversy, debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, why the Bondi Beach massacre is a wake-up call to recognize the threat of Islamist terrorism coming from Pakistan. And at 8:30 this evening, why we cannot ignore the signs of radicalization and the impact that we've seen on our own country. And at 9 o'clock tonight, why the Congress's so-called vote chori rally unmasked after party workers issued death threats against the Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, what Australia's Bondi Beach